Hi, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everybody. I just wanted to hop on for a little bit and talk to you guys. I have some stuff going on. So, as everything is kind of building in here and people are starting to pop in, I'm going to go ahead and pull you up on also my phone so I can make sure everything is looking okay. I am starting to use StreamYard finally. So, definitely want to make sure that you guys can see everything. So, again, I'm going to be looking at it on my phone also just to make sure. So let me get that all set up. And as I am at base camp right now. So I just decided I would be sporadic, pop on, tell you guys what's going on in life, and let you know what's coming up. I have some really cool projects that I'm currently in the process of working on. So we're going to talk about all of that. But first, I'm going to let some more of you guys hop in here. And as I do, I have a few of you hopping in. Hi there, Lillian. What's going on? This is pretty cool. I decided that I was going to go ahead and again move forth with StreamYard because everyone kept suggesting it to me, and it allows me to have a little bit of more interaction with everyone who hops in. So that is one of the big announcements. And as you kind of see things popping up, I'm going to be having some fun trying some of the features. So over time, we will be adding some cool things for anybody like that. Also, like some little pop-ups. Just yet, but I will soon. Um, Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This is actually on this side. Sorry, it's actually been my logo for a while. I just don't put it on all of my different things. But I decided that this was going to be a good place for me to have this. Why not? Canadian Rockies this year. Okay, I don't watch enough baseball to keep up with that. Oh wait, Canadian Rockies, not Colorado Rockies. Brain, I need something. I need something cold to drink. I've been outside. Hang on. Oh, it's been one of those days, guys. Today has been a lot. I just came in from the outside, which is why I look so pink. I was out there actually working on a video, which will be up on the channel this weekend. It is the final part of the review for my Blue Eddy. A lot of you have been asking me when I'm going to place that on there and on the channel so you can see it, and I finally finished it. I wanted to show some of the different things that I use the Blue Eddy for, and so I wanted to kind of have a better place to set that up. And the last couple of days of my trip, oh my goodness, wind. That's all I can say. Made filming extremely, extremely hard. Hi there. How are you? There's a ton of you guys coming in, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Again, I'm going to be talking about some of the things that are changing on the channel. Don't worry, nothing bad, nothing scary, just some fun stuff. Also, I'm going to be talking about some of the things that I am super excited about. And the background you are seeing me at currently, I am at base camp. The videos that you're seeing, however, I'm still traveling. It's the last part of my trip, so you'll see a few last videos of my travels. And then by the time that ends, I'll actually be back on the road again because I got some stuff coming up. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, just a random hop on moment. Let me pull this up again. It's having a little bit of a trouble loading onto my phone. So let me take myself off of Wi-Fi and load in so that I can see everything in the YouTube studio to see what you guys are seeing. So if I need to make any corrections, it'll make it way easier. Listen to the first episode of the podcast. Yay! I'm so excited. So currently we actually have 3 episodes of the podcast that are available on Spotify, and then 1 episode that is available on our YouTube. And so you can see episode 4. There is an ominous missing episode 3 right now, and there is a very good reason for that. When I went in to go and upload it to Spotify, for some reason it wasn't loading and I couldn't figure out why. And so I actually pulled the episode and I'm putting it back into a reformat, and then it will be up on Spotify. The first 3 episodes were not videos, so we don't have those, but you will soon see episode 5. In fact, we're going to be putting those out on Mondays, and when you see that, you'll see a video and a Spotify episode probably on the same day. We're trying to get everything to kind of connect accordingly. So that's kind of what we're doing there. But yeah, so that's been really fun though. It's been super fun because we get to talk about all sorts of different things, and it gives us kind of an outlet for which to do that. So that's kind of fun. Give me 1 second. I'm going to try to deal with the spottiness of the internet. I have a few things running kind of in the background, so I'm going to turn those off to make sure that I'm not pulling away from my Wi-Fi. Basecamp is a bit iffy sometimes, which is interesting because it's a sticks and bricks, but the Wi-Fi sometimes on the road is a bit better. Weird, right? Let's see here. Nice to see you live with no green lights. Well, we're not in the van, so that helps. Typically, whenever I am in the van, the green light setting actually is less abrasive to my eyes because I do have sensitive eyes, and that's why I use it a little bit more. However, I can also use the amber setting. The amber setting is just not quite as bright, so that's why we have a lot more of the green. Let's see. Hello from Wisconsin. Hi, how are you? So nice to have you here. Also, wait a second. Oh, it's one of my favorites right here. Hi, I'm so excited that you're at Lake Havasu. I did not make it to Lake Havasu for actually camping. I just kind of went through there a few times. So soak it all in for me, please. I know that Dawn, as well as our friend Chantel, they spent a lot of time there. And then our friends Sarah and Aaron also spent some time there too. And they were all together having a blast. So I have to go back. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. You are so kind. I don't have effects yet. I'm working on them, but these are the effects for today. We are doing, these are going to be fireworks today. It's always fun to have a little bit of fun. And so definitely anytime I get to chat with you guys, super, super fun stuff. Question. Where am I going next? Well, I'm going to talk about that in just a moment, Lillian. I'm just trying to let a few more people get in here because I'm seeing on the other social media, people are saying they're going to be here in just a few minutes. They're driving. I caught everybody in the central time zone in kind of commuters hours, which is not great for video. Sorry about that. My times are still so messed up from whenever I was in the desert to now I'm in central time zone. And so it's insane. Thank you so much, Explore with Penny. Thank you for telling everybody to smash the like button. If you wouldn't mind, I would appreciate that a lot. It just shows it to more people that way so that they can kind of see what's going on. Oh my goodness, so many people coming in. Hi, everybody. Again, so many exciting things coming up. And hi, Ohio. I am very excited, first of all, to be able to do the StreamYard. You'll notice that we're being able to do some things kind of in the corner as people are chatting. We can pop them up and just have a little bit more fun. That way it's a little bit more personal. And I really wanted to gear toward this. A lot of times whenever I'm going live, I'm having to go live from my phone. So that's why I hadn't been able to do that. And the interface on StreamYard is not as kind on the phone as it is on the laptop. So being able to actually sit where I am logged in and be able to chat, super, super nice right now. Let's see. Do my roof racks make a humming noise? Not really too much. I haven't had too many issues with that. I know a lot of people have said that they do. I haven't noticed anything too crazy. Occasionally when it's super windy outside, yes, but I think that that's just going to be because it's filtering through the roof racks in general. It's not necessarily like a hum from a rattle. So I do like the tip about the bungee cord. So if anybody is having an issue with that, check out this right here and see if it works for you guys also. That's kind of nice. Thank you. But yeah, I think that that's the cool thing about the community that we're forming here. We all get to chit chat about the things that work for us. And that's why I create the videos, guys, so we can have that nice dialogue in the comments section, which is awesome. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. Cheers from Chicago. Okay, so whenever you do a cheers, I think pinky out. So today we're going to do a cheers from Chicago with a little pinky out. In fact, pinky out with my Sonic cup. Here we go. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you. You are so kind. So now that we have about 42 people in the room, let's chit chat a little bit about what I have been up to the past week, I want to say. So I, again, have a few adventures that are still coming out from the last part of my journey. Whenever I went through New Mexico and Arizona, I ended up hitting some crazy, weird, very intense weather, a lot of wind. It made it very difficult to do some of the things that I was wanting to do. So I decided that since I had some things that I needed to do here at base camp when it came to the van, and then also the fact that my dad's birthday and my birthday kind of were back to back, I wanted to get home to spend some time with family. So I went ahead, and when the weather started showing me that it was not going to be fun, I just took a beeline back to Texas. And on one particular day, I drove at 11 and a half hours. That was not fun. I do not recommend that to anyone. Definitely not something that was a positive experience. I want to say like 8.5 of those hours were just driving through Texas. I was at the bottom part of New Mexico whenever I entered into Texas. And originally, again, I had some things planned. And whenever the weather was just a lot, I decided I would just come on back. And if you've never driven through West Texas, it is a very special kind of insanity when it comes to just like nothingness. There are some really great things along the way that are super fun, but at the same time, nothingness. So super flat, lots of oil field stuff, a lot of not anything else, and very few and far between like actual points of interest. So I just committed and I was like, I'm just gonna go home. By the time that I got to Abilene, I was going to stay over at a place, a really nice, cute little free campsite called CB Park. By the way, if you're ever coming through Texas, Abilene, Texas, CB Park is a good one. But I decided that since Abilene is only about hop, skip, and a jump, I will say, away from where I am here in Texas, I just decided to come on home. I was tired. I got home at like 12:30 at night and immediately kind of did a download with my family as to where I'd been, what I'd been doing, and then I went to bed. And I thought I would sleep in. No, I woke up super early the next day. Don't know how that happened, but I've been here working ever since. So yeah, that was kind of the experience coming home, and it was very interesting. First time here. Oh my goodness. Hi. I do lives very sporadically, so welcome to my live today. Thank you for coming along for the adventures. And even though you haven't hit the road quite yet, you have a family here within the chat of tons of people who are on the road or who want to be on the road. So welcome. Oh my goodness, Nikki Brown from Northern Ireland. Wow. It amazes me the power that YouTube has to share content with people from all different places. So it's so exciting whenever I see somebody who's not only here from the United States, who's getting to have the benefit of seeing the different places, but also people from abroad. It's so cool. And you're actually on my bucket list eventually. I've been watching some videos from some creators of just how beautiful it is there. And oh my goodness. Let's see. Windy over here in California. Yes, I experienced a lot of that. In fact, there was tomorrow's video? No, tomorrow. All of my days run together right now. I haven't yet processed what day it is. I believe it's tomorrow's video. It may not be, but I believe it's tomorrow's video where you'll see me hitting kind of the first part of some of that. It was a little wild. Let's see. Happy birthday to Bunny and Dad. Yes, we had such a good time. We didn't do that much because my dad did have some obligations that he had to do. So we did something this last weekend. And actually, I did a video of that too. We went to a place that was called the Southwestern Regional Rendezvous. If you've never heard of these rendezvous events, they're pretty interesting. They are plainsmen and mountain men events. Like, I love to go to different kinds of places, and that was definitely interesting. You'll have to check that one out, though. Hi from Newcastle, England. Well, hello. Hi, hi, hi. How are you? Oh my goodness. Let's see. Happy birthday from New Jersey. Thank you again so much. You guys made my day absolutely amazing with all of the amazing messages and well wishes, the emails, things like that. I was just glowing from ear to ear. And then, of course, you guys got to see how I celebrated my birthday a little bit early. I went on the first to Disney, and it was the first time I'd ever been. And wow, still have permagrin, just saying. Yes, this comment right here, going through West Texas, I felt like it went on and on and on. Agreed. This is the only place that I have ever been that I feel like I can drive for a full day and never fully exit. It is insane how long that it takes you to physically leave the state of Texas from side to side. It is crazy. Oh my goodness. But yeah, that's what happened to me too. Let's see, what's for dinner? Well, tonight I'm probably gonna have some pizza. We were just looking for something a little bit quick today. I was running some errands with my mom. Tomorrow we have some things going on. Neither of us really felt like sitting down and cooking tonight because it's been, like I said, a day. It's been such a day. So we're just gonna have some pizza. No big deal. Gonna get some more life out of the light that's out. So we're gonna do that and then make some pizza. Let's see. What else do we have here? This one's exciting. Look at this, guys. Wait, this side, this side. The sides are shifted on me here, guys. Picking up the MV200 this week. Van life, here you come. Yes, that is so exciting. And this is a perfect time to do it because MV200 being so economical, gas prices are insane. So I have never been so happy to have a compact van. I don't want to have to lose my adventures just because I can't afford the gas, and so having the small van is definitely helping with that. Yeah, so that's kind of what's going on there too. Cool, that's what's up. Woo! Everybody needs to give a high five or a clapping emoji for this new van life. I'm so excited whenever I see somebody hitting the road. Your life is about to be absolutely epic. I'm just saying that. Okay, so now that we have kind of been here for a little bit, kind of chit-chatting, I wanted to go over some of the things that are coming up. I have some fun stuff coming up. I'm actually going to be doing some things locally in Texas over this week, because a lot of you have been asking for some more Texas adventures. And I kind of, again, because Texas is so big, it's like an act of Congress just to get to one place from another place. So a lot of times I end up adventuring out somewhere else. And I know that's a sad excuse, but it's just kind of how it works. But I will be actually going tomorrow to at least one place, possibly two places, to share a couple of different places that are in the DFW region, because I've had a lot of people like sending me information about things that are going on and asking me about things. And so I'm going to go check out a couple things. It's going to be super fun. This week is my mom's spring break, so we are going to go together. I haven't had a good adventure with my mom in a while, other than like a little tiny thing here and there. So this is going to be super, super fun. So those episodes will be coming out probably next week. And so yeah, that's what's going to happen immediately. But I told you guys I'm at base camp for a reason. I have something going on that I have to take care of with the van. On the last portion of my adventures, I was actually traveling, and I don't know exactly what happened, but I know when it happened. I all of a sudden heard this boom. And whenever I did, I was just like, that doesn't sound normal. And so I was trying to figure out what exactly happened. I got out of my van. I went to the back to kind of try to figure out if something fell, if something had gone awry. And I realized that my little shelf that sits under my refrigerator had actually broken. And whenever it broke, the screw that screws into the side of the shelf, it kind of fit into this little channel. It somehow managed to break through the top, so it broke the shelf. So this was on like the last little bit of my adventures. So by seeing that, I knew I'm gonna have to replace that. So that's one of the projects that I'll be doing while I'm at base camp, and I'll be showing you guys kind of what I'm going through to do that. And then also I have my back shelving unit that I was trying out. You probably saw it in some of my more recent videos. I put it in before I went to courtside. I wanted to see if I liked my kitchen setup in that configuration. And so I have been liking it. And that kind of leads me to exploring some ideas for a more permanent solution. So I'm kind of looking into some different things that I could do with that. And again, I don't know what I'm going to ultimately do to make that a permanent solution, but I have some ideas. So kind of looking into that while I am at base camp. Otherwise, I have, of course, the normal things that everybody has to do, like I've got to get my taxes ready and stuff like that before I head out. I choose to do that while I am in a physical place that I can like do that versus trying to do it on the road and it being just like this big, huge production. But in the meantime, I am staying very busy. Today, again, I filmed the rest of the Blue Eddy video. You'll be seeing that later this weekend, so you can kind of see what I thought about the Blue Eddy, what I'm using it for, if I like it, all of those things. So that's kind of a fun thing also. So all of those things coming your way. I also have something super, super exciting that I'm not going to divulge at this moment. But it comes to my cooking setup. We'll just start there. I'm going to be doing something you guys have been asking me to do for the channel very, very soon. In fact, I'll probably film that either later this week or the beginning of next week. And I have a link for you guys. That's all I'm saying. If you know, you know, you've been asking for it. So I have a link and you'll see what I'm talking about if you don't know. But yeah, that's all going to be coming on. And then after that, I've been planning my official next trip already. I have some places that I for sure will be stopping. And a lot of people have been asking where that's going to be. Well, I'm going to be going up toward Arkansas and Missouri. and doing some things. A lot of people ask me if I'm going to be going to the opening of Silver Dollar City, which is actually tomorrow. I will not, but I will be going to Silver Dollar City thereafter to show you guys what's different this season. And then also, I'm going to do a few other things. I found some cool places while in Missouri that I've never been before that I'm very excited about sharing with you guys because I started researching them and was just like, oh. And then also, I am not sure if she is in here, but there is a person who follows the channel whose name is Glitzy Girls Boutique, I think, or Glitz Girls Boutique. And she gave me a long list of suggestions in an area that I'm actually going to be going to. So I'm going to be checking some of those off the list and sharing the content with you. But it is Missouri-based content, so it'll be green and pretty, I'm hoping. We've been in the desert for a while, so it's nice to get back to seeing some like greenery again. But yeah, that is all going to be weather permitting because the weather continues to be bipolar across the country, though. So we shall see what happens. Let's see what we have here. Coast of Texas. Yay! I am considering a trip down that way too, but not until after all the spring breakers have departed. I don't want to do spring break with all of the spring breakers. It's just not as much fun. Let's see. You cannot wait to go camping this summer. That is amazing. Yes, where are you planning on camping? That is the true question. I've been seeing a lot of people who are getting out and about doing things more local this year because of the gas prices. I've seen people who are still going to continue to go forth onto their bigger adventures. I am still working on my bigger adventures. I'm trying to figure out exactly where those are going to be. I'm hoping to coordinate some of those with, of course, my friends. I still would like to go to Alaska, but the more that I look at right now where the world kind of is, I don't know that that's necessarily the best timing for me to do that, but that doesn't mean we won't end up there. It's just still kind of up in the air. Let's see. I recently ordered the Blue Eddy for my first of 2 solar generators. Nice. Which one did you get is the question. I have the EB55 personally. Let's see. Ooh, here we go. Love the California presentations. I had such a good time in California. California is one of those states that gets a lot of bad press on it because of just the political side of it, but there are really so many cool places that you can adventure there. I love going there. I always have a good time, and this time especially because I had friends to kind of hang out with, so I got to try the really awesome places that Riley's brother Tony suggested to us, and I was super, super psyched about that. Let's see, what else do we have here? Going to Long Beach, Washington for yours. Nice. Very cool. Washington is a beautiful state. So have fun. I also have been considering the O22. That's one of the things that I've been asked a few times if I'm going to go to. I am not sure yet, but that would be a super, super fun event as well. Let's see. Here's another person saying hello from California. Hello, 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 hello. You ordered the AC200. Nice, nice. I'm going to have to look into that one to see how it varies from the EB55 because they've made some changes, but also they have a lot of similarities. So let me check that one out in the future and I'll kind of know what you're talking about in comparison, and maybe I'll even work that into the video. Let's see. Hello from California High Desert. Thank you so much for watching the Joshua Tree video today. I had such a good time there. I had to wait it out, of course, because of that windstorm, but actually being able to go into the park, I didn't really know what to expect, and seeing the information that they had about how the desert splits off, super, super cool. I do hope to return there when I have some friends with me because for the longer hikes, I always like to have a friend just because, you know, safety and stuff. Not that I won't hike by myself, but I always prefer it if there is someone with me. Let's see, who else do we have here? You live in Portland and you get to go to Long Beach at least twice a year. Super, super sweet. Again, that area is gorgeous up there. Let's see, you're going back to Kansas and Missouri. Do the gas prices? I understand completely. I do know that today we put gas in the tank. It was $3.95 where we physically are here in Texas. But along the way, I was seeing gas prices that ranged anywhere from $3.95 up to $5.75. Of course, that was at a very specific one location in LA. And according to Riley's brother, that one is always higher than any other place. Let's see. I'm looking at 2 or 3 different things and 3 or 4 different things are popping up. Oh no, this is why we're getting to know StreamYard, guys. Long Beach, California. So we have two different Long Beaches in the house. Very, very cool. Let's see. Van swap. Van swap. No, no, no. You have to build out your van and make it your own. It'll be super fun. The nice thing about it is, depending on how you choose to set up your van, that will be something that you can modify kind of as you go. In fact, I'm constantly changing the things that are in my van, like I was just talking about. I'm going to be making some big changes, and I like to do that. It's fun, and also it gives you a really good excuse to like pull things out and just really clean like stuff. So yeah, let's see. I'd love to see Alaska and the west coast of Canada. So would I. That is definitely on my list of places that I would like to be going. I think it would be beautiful. And I don't know. I would say typically that might be a little bit cooler during the summer, but last summer they had the heat wave. And I'm hoping that this year that is not the case. Let's see who else we have in here. I live in California. You showed me places I didn't know existed. Yay! Now you have to go check them out. It'll be super, super fun. That's what I love. Like whenever I go to places, I'll find some obscure random place and I'll go there, and then somebody might say, "Where did you find this?" And it's just one of those one-off things that I happen to find. So yay, please go out and explore them. And after you do, leave comments on the videos so that I'll know that you went there, and then also tell me what you liked so much because they're pretty awesome. Um, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. The chat just went wow. Let's see, we have Florida in the house. Cool. My friend is actually in Florida too, Anika. You may have seen some of our adventures together. She lives in the Fort Lauderdale area. Where are you at? Let's see, what else do we have here? Love the channel from North Carolina. Nice. See, all the states are representing today. That is super, super cool. Northeast Dallas. Yes, Deborah. Hi. Northeast Dallas. So I used to live in Dallas, probably in a similar region. I used to live in North Dallas area. Very, very cool. A lot of family in Portland. Hope to see them. Very cool. Portland area is a very nice area. In fact, if you are familiar with the app The Dirt, they're based out of the Portland area. And I went up there a couple of seasons ago so that I could chat with everybody, went to the office. Really, really neat stuff. We have Michigan in the house. Nice. Now, I will say this, guys, as I'm adapting to the StreamYard platform, it does show the chat on my end a bit different than it shows it on your end. So as it pops up, sometimes it doesn't pop up when someone is responding to someone else the same way. And I'm not sure how to fix that. So I'm just kind of going as we go. Let's see. Loved how excited I was at Disney. It was so fun. Like it was super, super fun. Again, permagrin still. And being able to go for the first time as an adult, I think I appreciated it differently than I would have if I was a kid, because I've seen all the videos about how the roller coasters work and who made the roller coasters and what the design elements were, and then the tiny little minute details that the coaster channels show you. And then I've also seen all of the Disney vloggers and how they talk about different things. So I kind of knew what I wanted to do. And I think that that's what made it so important that we were able to get that Genie Plus, because I knew I wanted to do those things and the Genie Plus made it possible. So the upcharge for that, definitely worth it in my opinion. Let's see. Niagara Falls. Nice. One of these days I am going to have to go to the Niagara Falls area. I just assume that it is just as beautiful in person, if not more so, than it is on all of the videos that I've seen. Let's see. Arkansas isn't green yet. Okay, that's something I need to know. I am waiting for it to green up just a bit because I want to go and explore when it's nice and lush and pretty. And I know that the weather has been kind of up and down, so that is a difficult thing to know. In fact, my mom and I were just looking at some things here in the area, and we were trying to find out if they were going to be green. And we were having some issues with finding out for sure, but they had some kind of lists, and we were like, oh, okay, cool. So even in the local area here that we are, where the buds are just starting to pop out, it's kind of unpredictable. Let's see. Hello, everyone from Virginia. Nice. What part of Virginia are you in? Are you in the metropolitan area? Are you in the more remote areas? I've only explored Virginia a bit. Let's see. Toronto in the house. Nice, nice, nice. Lots of Canadians in here today. Yay. Again, I will eventually visit Canada. And whenever I do, I'm going to get a long list from every one of you guys about where I should go for food, because I know that the Canadian food is very specific. I need some good poutine and some of the other things. Plus, I'm probably going to go to a grocery store up there just to go and see what the different kinds of flavors are, because I know that, for example, I watched Chrome's channel. He had hot chocolate that was a different kind of hot chocolate than you can get in the United States. It sounded delicious. I looked for it. You can't find it anywhere. And you can't even order it to come to the United States. And I was super sad. So I think that that would be a super fun thing to do. Let's see. Northern Virginia, about 20 miles out of DC. Nice. That's a good location right there. Whenever I went to DC, I stayed in the Maryland side. There's a little tiny campground just outside of DC on the Maryland side. And that's where I kind of centrally hubbed so that I could do all my DC adventures that are on the channel. And so that particular area that you are in would also be a good hub. Thank you. Let's see. What is this one? Nice. You got a bookshelf built while you were out there. Very, very cool. Very cool. Okay. That is actually really cool. I saw a lot of different people were doing different kinds of projects and things like that. Were you at was that whenever you were at the RTR, or was that after whenever they did like the van build thing, or just independently? That's what I would wonder. I watch Chrome's channel too. Yes, I think a lot of people look to Chrome's channel because such an upbeat attitude, and also he does show a lot of different aspects of van life that are just day-to-day life, and I really appreciate that about that. Let's see, Doris. Hello. See, my goodness, Janet, you are loving the coloring book. Yay! So I just actually posted a post on my community tab about the other coloring book that I have that came out. It's Camping Coloring Book. It's a little bit different. For people who like this more intricate designs, the van one is perfect. For people who like something that is a little bit more like open and free to larger coloring styles and things like that, I have this other one, and it has 50 designs. And so it's super, super fun. It's about tent camping and things like that. Of course, I did start out tent camping, so that's part of the reason why I wanted to do that. Because a lot of people like the different aspects of coloring, and coloring is one of those things that, you can do in your van while you're in a windstorm, like I do. Let's see. Let's see. You're on your denture journey now. Oh, wow. I can only imagine that would not be something that would be a fun endeavor. Oh my goodness, thank you so much, Kimmy. You are so nice for the super sticker. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Again, I'm working on some things that are some motion graphics, but we're gonna do some of these, which are our fireworks, until we get actual physical fireworks on here. Using StreamYard, I will have that soon though. I just have to find some really fun things that I want to put on there. Oh my goodness, North Texas, yes! So while I was actually at the Quartzsite area, I met a couple people who were from the Texas area, super, super cool people. And typically I have a couple of them in here, but I did not get to meet you. So hello, nice to meet you in the chat at least. Let's see. Schoolypalooza, yes. I didn't know you were at Schoolypalooza. Otherwise I'd come by and said hello. There were a lot of people, though, who were at Schoolypalooza who I found out after the fact. There's a person that I follow on TikTok, and he and a couple of other people that I had met at some other events. In fact, I met one of them at Gutted. I did not realize that they were at Schoolypalooza, and the reason I didn't know that was because they did not have good signal to post anything while they were there, which is crazy because I had great signal. So I was really surprised. So they must have had like T-Mobile or something, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, they weren't able to post, so they didn't post anything until after they left. And then I was like, man, it would have been cool because they follow me, I follow them, and it would have just been nice to encounter one another. Let's see. Lots of people commenting about Chrome and Emmy. Yes, it's been interesting to see their saga. I'm not completely caught up on Chrome's channel because I did have a few days I did not have video abilities because I didn't have service. So I have to catch up in the last couple. But yeah, I think that that's wonderful that they're not only dating, but they have like a common bond because they're both van dwellers. Let's see, what do we have here? Yes, all of the van dwellers are starting to leave Quartzsite. I had gone back through there and stayed there for one night on my way back from California, just because I knew that there was plenty of camping. And when I got there, it was a lot more empty than it was whenever I had come there the first time, to say the least. Before, we had to go about halfway back at Scat and Wash just to find a spot. But whenever I came back through, everything in the front, for the most part, was pretty open, so it wasn't that bad. There were still some people, but I could definitely see there was like a mass exodus going on. Uh, Even the next day, whenever I woke up, there were fewer vehicles than whenever I'd pulled in, and that was not the case only a couple weeks before that. Let's see. Just watching Joshua Tree video. Yes. You're very kind. Discovery Channel quality. That is super kind. Thank you. I had a blast whenever I was there. There are so many places to explore. The hiking there is amazing. Just seeing the difference between the boulder fields and the Joshua trees, and then also the yuccas and things like that. Just really, really neat. And the more that I looked into the four-wheel drive trail that I couldn't drive on, the more that I realized, wow, there are so many mines out there. And apparently each one of them is marked with kind of their story. So I was kind of reading into the story of some of them, and it's just really fascinating. So if you have not been to Joshua Tree, definitely check it out if you're ever in that area. I don't know what took me so long. I'd been in that area before. So let's see. Box Fan D was at school. Yes, we actually met Box Fan D. She was super, super cool. There were a couple of different people who were hanging out with her. One was Fit for Expedition, and he actually does a live usually, I think, as part of the lives on Wednesdays. I think that he's the one that rounds out the night with Gina and all of them. And he came over to our camp, chatted up for a little while. Very nice. Every single one of them super, super cool. Let's see. It's getting really hot at Quartzsite. I can imagine that it's probably about to start heating up a lot. I was looking at some of the predictions for the weather, even in the Vegas area, and Vegas by mid-April starts getting a little bit, and so I can only imagine Arizona also does. Yes, I met Van Vita also. She was actually at the WRTR the first day whenever I was there. Got to meet her. She's super, super fun. Very nice. I sat with her and chatted it up for a while as well. Definitely, definitely a nice lady. And I love her ambulance. It was super cool. Let's see. What else do we have here? Have I been to Lee's Ferry, Arizona? I have not. That is a place that I haven't heard much about, so I'll have to look into that one though. As most of you guys know, I have an ongoing bucket list that I add to for each state, and when somebody suggests something, I add it to the list, and then if I'm in the area that is near it, then I go there. In fact, I'm currently working on a bucket list book so that you can keep up with different things that you might be interested in, kind of the same way that I do. I'm modeling it after the model that I personally use whenever I'm trying to figure out where I might be interested in going along the way. And so once I get that available, I'll share it with everybody. I do have another one that's a bucket list book, but it's more so just like a fun recording of your memories thing. It's called WWUD, and it's on my shop already if you're interested. It's just kind of something fun. I originally did it so that Dee could have like something kind of fun. With our little catchphrase on it, but I decided I would go ahead and make it public in case somebody else wanted it. You can actually put your photos and things like that in there, or put tickets and stuff. It's just something kind of neat. Let's see. God, I got to go to Estes Park in Rocky Mountain National. I loved that. That was so beautiful. If they change their ticket policy, I will likely go back again. It was kind of hard to secure a ticket into the park, and so I couldn't go back-to-back days. So there were a lot of things I did not get to do. If I had an opportunity, I would go back though, and definitely see those things because it's beautiful there. It's one of my favorite national parks. I will say that. Hello, Adventures with Woodsman. Good evening. Good evening. Here in Texas, it's about 5:21, I believe. Yes, I am actually correct on my computer now, finally. Now, this is the funny thing. I never change the time on my computer whenever I'm traveling. So usually it shows me my Texas time. And then my phone will show me what time it is wherever I am. So whenever I'm typically logged on in a different place, I never physically know what time it is unless I go through in my head, oh wait, my phone is here, my computer is Texas. So that's kind of a funny thing about me. Let's see. Your husband and you were at Joshua Tree in January? Nice. The Palm Desert. Okay, so I wanted to go to the Palm Desert, and on the day that I was going through that area, it was so windy and it dropped in temperature. In fact, tomorrow you'll get to see, I think tomorrow you'll get to see that adventure, and you'll see it was kind of raining and then not raining and then cold and then not cold, and then just, it was weird. The whole day was just kind of weird. Let's see. Am I going to O22? I do not know yet. It is on my list of possibilities. It just really depends on where I end up going as a whole. at that particular time. I have a few different kinds of things going on around that time that I have to choose from, and it's very hard to make a selection as to which one I will actually go with because they all have some really amazing like points to them. So I'm trying to like figure out and narrow it down just a little bit. A bucket list book would be really cool. Yes. So typically, whenever I create a trip, a lot of times I don't plan out every single thing, but again, I do have this ongoing bucket list, and it just helps me to kind of get an idea as to what is near something else, and that's the main reason that I kind of do the method that I do for finding it. So if I am happen to be like, if I'm going to this place right here on the map and I see that I have these 5 things around me, I can pick and choose that way if it is worth it to go to them or if it would be too hard to go to them. So that is why I like to have a physical something in my possession at all times about bucket list. Let's see. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I try to keep a positive outlook because every single day that we get to adventure, do something different, that we get to experience something and see something. So it's worth it just to stay a little bit positive. Even on a bad day, we can think of, okay, well, I did have the opportunity to do something. And so we always look at it like that, then we'll always have a good day, right? Let's see. I will be there, 022, all reserved. Yes. Yes, that is part of it. I have someone who has asked me if I wanted to stay with them. If I do choose to do that, then I need to let them know soon. That's why I'm trying to figure that out. Otherwise, I could also camp in the area and then come into the event for a day, and that would be the other way to do it. So it's just a lot. Let's see. Have I been to Sequoia and Kings Canyon? No, I have not. I've been right by them. Again, weather related reasons as to why I haven't been into the parks. I was in the area going to Yosemite and they ended up with snow. And I don't like to drive personally in snow. I just don't think it's super, super safe to do so. And in fact, I had a girl that I met at Gutted this past week. She had a situation where she was driving and the weather just went bad. And whenever it did, she rolled her van. So I try to avoid those situations. So if I see snow is forecasted, if I see snow is a possibility, I go the opposite direction. I don't want any of that. Not to mention, I personally had a weird experience where I slid down a mountain in Telluride. Not when I was with Dee. This was actually on my own when I was in my car, and I slid back into the side of the mountain, and I had to get a tow truck. It was not pleasant, so I just avoid snow. So that's why I haven't been to those parks. Let's see. Oh my goodness, yay! Do I have one planned for RVs and trailers? I actually am working on a few other ideas within that space. I just have to sit down and put it together. And that's been the big thing is the time situation with putting it out. I do all of my hand doodling and drawing and stuff like that. And so it just takes time. But yeah, that is definitely on my list of things that I'm working on. I need to geocache. Okay, so there's a thing about this. I have geocached and I love geocaching. In fact, my dad and I, that's one of the things that we like to do is geocache. And I haven't done it in a while, but it is super, super fun. And I hope to add a few possible like references to geocache in the future. Now, this is my hesitation of doing it by myself. So I don't like tall grass. The reason I don't like tall grass is because I don't like snakes. And I don't have the best experience with tall grass and sneaky snakes. So if I do it, I almost always have to be with someone else. And so I have to find someone who wants to geocache with me and also have time to do it. Now, the last time Dad and I did go geocaching, though, super, super fun. If you are ever in Oklahoma and you're looking at geocaches, there is a person who's actually laid some really cool caches out there, and each one of them is like a historic stop. And he tells the story within the description of the cache of each stop as to what happened there. And there's like some outlaw stories and stuff like that. So, yes, super fun. And I encourage you, if you're in Oklahoma, to look those up. Let's see. Oh no, the chat skipped. No. Late May, early June for Sequoia. Yes, that's what everyone has told me. Those are the best times. I was there in fall, which was the problem. Let's see. Really cool places in Northeast Oklahoma. Yes, there are. I have been all over the state, but there is a little portion of Oklahoma that I am still lacking on some of my content. I'm actually hoping to tackle some of that either on the way up or the way back from Arkansas and Missouri on this particular upcoming trip. I have some places already marked off as places that I'm very interested in. Let's see. Do I caravan a lot or do I usually just hang out with people and meet it? So a lot of times I travel solo and that's what I do most of the time. But whenever I do have the opportunity to get together with like friends or something like that, we'll meet up at an event and then occasionally we'll go on a little caravan. It won't be like something that takes up a whole lot of our adventure time or anything like that. But occasionally, like for example, Riley and I technically caravanned to Los Angeles and then like spent like an extra week or something like that together. But before that, I was camped out at Lake Mead pretty much by myself. Her and Dawn came out there a couple of days and then they would kind of part ways. Riley's base camp is in Vegas, so it didn't really make sense for her just to go camping in Vegas because she kind of has base camp there. But she did come out because we wanted to do like a campfire and then Dawn was there also. So it was super fun. But most of the time it's more so that I'll be a solo traveler and then we'll just meet somewhere and then maybe we'll go somewhere else for like a couple days. Let's see. Balloon juggler. You thought that it sounded cool till snakes. You know, there's not always snakes. I just have this very realistic, unrealistic fear of the snakes. I have a lot of stories about the snakes, but I will be going into that on a podcast episode in like the future because Riley and I we have like this whole thing that we want to talk about our fears, and that is one of them. And I'll explain way more detail as to why. Now, I did touch on it a little bit in the last podcast episode, but yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot to unpack with that one. But in all the times I've been geocaching, realistically, I have personally seen zero snakes. However, it's in my head that I'm going to see like an anaconda every single time I go into tall grass. I'm just saying. When I hike or geocache, do I send a person ahead? Yes, actually, I know it sounds really weird, but if you've never seen it before, I told my friend Pam on our very first trip that she was the snake wrangler. The end. That was her job. She was supposed to tell me if there were snakes. Now, did we see any snakes? No. However, when I was with my dad and we were hiking at Boiling Springs in Oklahoma, that was not the case. My dad was walking a little bit ahead of me to be my guide. He saw a snake. He told me, go around, go ahead. He didn't tell me there was a snake. We were good. We were fine. And then suddenly we were no longer fine because I got too far ahead and there was a snake. And it was not a small snake, it was a very big snake. And so I just don't know. There's no right solution for this, I just feel. The right solution would be that snakes just know that I don't like them and then just stay hidden. That would be great, but that's not reality. That sounds like a blast. Absolutely. You live in the Northeast? Very cool. It's absolutely a wonderful place. However, again, I still lack some of my adventures up there. I want to go to Pincher, for example. I want to go and tell the story of why it is the way that it is. I want to do some things in Tulsa. I have been to the waterfall there, just along 40, kind of. It was really beautiful. But there's so many other things to do in that area. So I have to continue forth with my list on that one. Let's see, what else do we have here? Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. That is my go-to song. That is from Jurassic Park. What is the name of the podcast? Our podcast is called The Random Recap. And on that channel, we get to talk about all sorts of random things that don't necessarily just apply to van life. And we wanted to do that because a lot of times you guys get to know one side of kind of what it is that we do, what brought us to that position. And we talk a lot more about our travel aspects, but we want to talk about all sorts of things. And we are going to have some special guests and things like that to kind of go into some fun deep dives and just be a little silly. I think that that's kind of the fun part of having the podcast. It gives us an extra outlet to talk about different stuff. Oh, thank you so much. I am so happy that that has gotten you to come out of that because there are so many amazing things out there to see. And a lot of times I think whenever we confine ourselves to our little bubble and we miss out on those. And so I'm so happy that you are doing this now. This is so exciting. What has been your favorite place so far is the question. Let's see. Have I ever traveled to Tennessee? Yes, I have. Tennessee is super fun. However, because the Smoky Mountains is such a popular park area, it's really hard to do some things in like one whole section of the state. But I love the Tennessee area. In fact, I went there, I want to say not last summer, but the summer before last, I think. And I was there for about a month. It was right after I got my van. And that was the first trip that I went on. I just loaded up my van with the random things that I thought I might need in the no build. And I headed up there and I had a wonderful time. I went through and I did everything from like the Patsy Cline crash site to I found some free campsites. I went to the Smoky Mountains area and did all sorts of stuff in that area. And then I just kind of came back through the Memphis area. I mean, just so many amazing things to do in Tennessee. Let's see. I should go to the Cherokee Village in Tahlequah. Yes, that is actually on my list. That has been on my list. I know that they are not open year round, and that's the only reason I didn't go the last time I went through there. But yes, that is definitely on my list. Love the channel. You teach me something with the new videos. Yay! That's the whole goal. Like every single time I share something, I either want people to think outside of the box and find something that's similar to that in their backyard that they might not have gone to before, or go to those locations, or just the brain wrinkles that we get from going to those places is absolutely awesome too. By the way, love your channel. Some really great content. You were so excited about Silver Dollar City and Shepherd of the Hills. I always have a good time in those places. There are so many amazing things to do in Branson. It is a lot of people who watch the channel who had never seen Branson before. I've seen so many people say, hey, I gave this a consideration. I went there and I had a good time. And that makes me happy. I've been going there since I was a kid. I've seen Branson change so much over time. And I think that that's what makes it so amazing, is the fact that it continues to push forward and continues to grow, but also has those things like Silver Dollar City and Shepherd of the Hills, which are the backbone. And so you can go there and you can ride a mountain coaster, or go to a show, or go to a historic place and see some really neat stuff. And it's just a very neat community. And the focus is always on family friendly entertainment, which I think is perfect, because that means that anyone can go there and have a great experience. Hello from Sweden. Hi. Welcome to the channel from Texas, where I'm at base camp right now. Let's see. How can I always be so happy? Well, I was joking with my mom earlier. I have two modes. I have slug mode, or I have this. And slug mode usually only happens before coffee. And as soon as coffee is good, we're here. Again, I think that every single day you get to have an opportunity to do something awesome. So you should just be happy. There's no reason to be a sourpuss about life. Let's see, what else do we have here? Hi, Deborah on the go. Welcome, welcome to the random live. I never plan these, guys. I always just hop on whenever I do have good signal and kind of check in with everybody and say hello. And I think that that's what makes the lives really sporadic and fun at the same time. It does make it a little harder to hop in if you don't know it's coming. And so I'm sorry about that. Coffee is fantastic. Yes, it is. It is my happy place. Surprisingly, though, on this last trip that I took, I didn't end up drinking as much coffee as I usually do, which is weird. Most of the coffee that I drank was actually on my reserved Starbucks days. Otherwise, I would make coffee, I want to say, every fourth day probably when I was actually at camp. Yes, I am happy. Absolutely. How are the gas prices affecting my travel plans? Well, I will say that they are going to impact possibly some of that. It just kind of depends, though. As of right now, because I have a fuel efficient vehicle, it's not going to change everything. It's not going to throw it out the window and say, oh no, I can't travel. I'm fortunate in that that was one of the considerations that I made whenever I was selecting my van. I wanted something that was fuel efficient because I do drive so much. And so, yeah, the prices are a bit higher. However, as long as I am not going over the top, or the gases rise to like $47 a gallon, I think we'll be okay. I always plan my adventures not so much just on the price of gas, but also the adventure to be had. And so I'm going to continue doing that unless gas prices just get ridiculous. Again, though, in my personal location that I am right now, we're looking at about $3.95, which is less than it was in Arizona or New Mexico or California. So that's pretty good as of right now. I can deal with that. I can even deal with the price I was paying in Arizona, New Mexico, or California, as long as it doesn't go much, much higher than that. So yeah. Let's see. Just heard on the news that oil prices fell. That is awesome. If they fall, that is good for us people who want to be on the road. And I think realistically that at some point it will have to level out just a little bit. So we'll see, I guess. We'll just continue watching. In the meantime, we'll be kind of keeping up as a group, I guess. I do have to say I appreciate your Branson stuff. Thank you so much. Of course, you being a Bransonite, Bransonian, whatever title we're going to call you. I appreciate you so much. In fact, whenever I come back up that way, I'm going to have to get in touch with you. So if you don't mind, if you would please, in the description box of my videos, I have my email linked. If you would send me an email with your email, that way I can touch base with you because I would like to connect when we're up there. We talked about going on an adventure together. I think it'd be super fun. Let's see. I heard on the news that the oil prices today. This is an interesting tactic. Budgeting for $10 a gallon just in case. I mean, yeah, give yourself a padding, especially. So this is the way I look at it. In Texas, again, $3.95. If I were to go to, say, Oregon, it may not be $3.95 there. Gas Buddy is our friend right now. Gas Buddy, for anybody who isn't familiar, is an app that you can get on your phone that tells you the cheapest gas prices, but you can actually go look up by different regions what the gas prices are. So if you're planning a trip to a different region, go to that area, look up what the average prices are, and compare them to what they are currently where you are, so you'll kind of have an idea, and then add a padding. I mean, that's the best way to budget for gas at this moment, I think. California just passed taxation with 605. I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, whenever I was there, it was like 5 something whenever I was leaving the state. So yeah, that would be about par for there. Gas station in Mendocino with $8. So okay, I've heard of this particular gas station from some other nomads. They said that this one gouges. That there is it may not be the exact same one, but there is a gas station in Mendocino that gouges very badly. And there are lots of different message boards that say get gas before you go here. And that's why. So yeah. My ability to produce as many videos as I do is astonishing. So I added the 5th video this year, and I was just joking saying that by adding the 5th video, it's harder to make myself have a cushion of videos. I normally have like a little padding so that while I'm traveling, I have videos that are kind of coming out. Now it's normally, I can normally get like 3 or 4 weeks in advance. Right now, I'm not anywhere near that because 5 videos a week is a lot to pad out. That would have to be 15 to 20 videos just to get to that place. And so I have to be doing twice as much work. But at the same time, I think that it also challenges me to get out there and do more so that while I am on the road, I am constantly doing something. So there's not as much of a lull, which is actually pretty good. Let's see. Staying 14 days on BLM, $479. Yes. The nice thing about it is, as long as we are all being responsible with the land that we're able to stay on when we do have BLM or we have forest land, that cuts the cost of the actual campsites, so we don't have to worry about that. So that does help with that overall travel expense. In fact, I was looking at my entirety of my travels. I left out the 1st of January. I didn't get back until like last week, the late part of last week. And I paid for this many campsites the entire time that I was on the road. This many, zero, yeah. So I traveled for about 3 months and paid for no campsites because I do go to those places that are free campsites. And I do know kind of my way around enough to feel comfortable doing that and to know when I feel safe and when I don't feel safe. For a person who's brand new, that is going to be something that they might not feel comfortable doing, and they may end up having to pay for campsites along the way. So that's an added expense. But I am extremely thankful that now, since I've been on the road as long as I have, that I'm comfortable in those spots. I miss gas being 50 cents. I don't think I ever remember gas being 50 cents. In fact, whenever I graduated from high school, I think gas was like $1.07. And yeah, that's a long time ago. This person, yes, miss gas prices being 18 cents a gallon. Okay, so yeah, all of those things. I don't remember that one for sure. But yeah, I think that it's just one of those things that's in the past. It's never going to be low again, probably. AAA also gives a discount. Yes, they do. Absolutely. I love AAA, by the way. I hope I never have to use them for their towing service, but they do have, if you keep your AAA card with you, they have so many different discounts. They have gas discounts, they have entertainment discounts, they have shopping discounts, all sorts of things. It's one of those things that if you are aware of the discounts that they give you, it can really pay off. Same thing with Farm Bureau. Farm Bureau, if you are in a state that has Farm Bureau, look into their benefits package. Tickets for like concerts, tickets for attractions, tickets for museums, things like that, discounted, just so you know. Let's see what else we have here. Thank you for saying responsible. Yes, I think it's very important. I've been on a lot of BLM campsites where people have not been responsible. They have trashed the land. They have left things in fire pits. They have not parked in places that you're supposed to. And then they have, my worst experience, in fact, was I was staying outside of Leadville, Colorado at a beautiful place that I've been staying for a couple of days. And then all of a sudden somebody decided they wanted to have a party. They were shooting guns up in the air, things like that. It was ridiculous. And I was just like, wow, this is why we can't have nice things. Like, seriously, it's really important to be responsible and also know the rules of the places that you're going, because a lot of times you don't find a kiosk that's like point A, point B. You just need to go in and have that knowledge already. Oh, thank you so much. Nope, I'm definitely double that though. Let's see, what else do we have here? I travel so fast. Absolutely, I do travel fast, but at the same time, I don't travel that fast. I was actually at Joshua Tree a couple weeks ago. So yeah, I'm not quite as quick. Now, if I could figure out efficient travel where I could just be like beep beep and then I'm there, that would be super cool. But at the same time, I also think that wouldn't be cool because I wouldn't be able to experience the road along the way, and that is half of the adventure. Let's see. Whoa, everything hopped again. Do I recycle? When I can. I'm just going to be very realistic and honest. A lot of times living in a van, it is impossible to recycle everything because you end up with stuff and no recycling centers near you. And so you can't just hold on to stuff when you're in such a small van. It just doesn't, unfortunately, work. And so whenever I do have the opportunity to, I do. However, realistically, just can't sometimes. Seen the electric versions of the Envy in the UK? Yes. So I don't know for a fact that this is something, but I have seen on several of the Envy message boards that I belong to that they are looking to do a dual fuel or something that is electric and even possibly a solar option or a hybrid option. There's a lot of different kind of rumblings about what they're moving toward because Envy is a very good it's a very good van, but at the same time there are a lot of things that the world is pushing toward. And so the old electric versions, the charge on them not good. That was part of the reason why they said that they discontinued them, and you would have to be charging them more consistently than you would be driving them, which is not helpful. But if they can move to a dual fuel or something like that, that would be amazing. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. We're doing the fireworks thing. Actually, let's do the wave. We're gonna do the wave. This is the wave for the 25. Thank you so much, Shara. Let's see. Oh my goodness, thank you so much for watching the videos. I really enjoy creating them, and I think that sharing all the different cool places and then also the insights about doing van life the way that I do it, I hope that it's helping people out along the way. I really, really do. Let's see. Oh, teleportation does have merit. Okay, yes. So it does. But according to my uncle, if you were to teleport, it basically deconstructs your body and kills you each time. So I think that that's just kind of a weird little thought that I hadn't thought about because, we don't have it. So I don't think about it. But I mean, it would make sense. Even Willy Wonka, whenever they tried to put him in all the little particles, it basically did something really weird to Mike TV. So what if that happened? Oh my gosh. Then an ant would be like the size of a monster. That would be terrifying. 5 minutes from Fort Hood. Nice. I actually have a friend who is recently restationed down to that area. So that's pretty cool. Enjoy the videos. Oh, thank you so much. I try to keep a good head on my shoulders when it comes to what I'm doing. I try. Okay, solar would be cool. So this comment right here, There's also, I was reading something in a journal the other day about the solar advancements and how they're changing things and what they're working toward. And there's actually a study being done right now. Typically, our solar panels are pretty big. So I have a fold out panel that's the span of my arms almost. So if I were to span my arms completely out, that's about how big my solar panel is. And then it folds in half, which is awesome because I can fold it in half and it takes up less room. But there is actually a study being done right now on trying to reduce the size of those solar panels to still output the same amount. So then a solar panel that's the size of my arms would be able to do 10 times as much as it is currently. If they could make that happen, that would be amazing for so many different things. First of all, you could use those on your sticks and bricks and be well more efficient. You wouldn't have to have your whole roof covered, which would be awesome. And then also, if they could retro those onto a van in some way, shape, or form and have it be the power, that would be amazing. Currently, you would have to have way too many panels. And if you watched my video whenever I was actually at the Route 66 Museum, you'll see what those solar panel cars look like for those like land speed races. That's what a car would have to look like right now for it to actually run off of solar. But if they could make these panels smaller, that would be super cool. I'm sure it would be super expensive though. You believe there will be solar electric cars in the next 10 years? I hope so. I think that'd be awesome. And at the end of the day, I think that that would be well more affordable and efficient in the long run, even if you did have to pay more upfront for them. Nice. Very cool. So he knows about these things. How did I meet Chantel? Well, whenever we were in courtside, because we do YouTube and everything, Dawn and I were sitting there and we were like, we'd like to meet her. That'd be cool. So we sent her a message and said, hey, we don't mean to be weird or anything because, you don't know us, but we also do YouTube and we would love to meet you. I mean, that was literally the whole conversation. And she's like, cool. And she came by our campsite. Her and Joy, super, super cool. And turns out that she had also met Sarah and Aaron. And Dawn knew Sarah and Aaron, so they all ended up camping with us when we went to Schoolypalooza, and it was super, super fun. And now we're all part of the group. Let's see. What else do we have here? My friend said the same thing about teleportation as your uncle did. See? See? There's lots of common thoughts on this. Yes, renewable energy. I think that that's one of the things. It scares a lot of people to think about renewable energy because that means we have to do something different. But at the same time, realistically, we need to know about all the options before we have to have the other options before it's too late. Because I would rather, at least me personally, and this is, again, my opinion. It may not be the popular opinion or the opinion of others, but I would a lot rather think, oh, I could have this option, and this option versus saying, oh, we have this one option and suddenly there's no more of it. What do we do now? Then we'll all go into panic. So I would rather at least explore those, have some ideas, and then be ready. In fact, as a van dweller, of course, I do use solar for a lot of things. I do use, of course, my van itself runs off of gasoline, but at the same time, having that balance of being able to have power for my devices and then also power for my van, there's not that much of a difference there. You could figure out how those could work together very easily or officially one overshadowing the other eventually. I think that that would be great. How was Joey? He was so sweet. Oh my gosh, he was so cute with these little underbutt. It was so cute. Well, I'll be at home base in a week. I'd love to meet up with fellow Texas girl. I do not know, actually. I'm trying to do some things this week. I have to go do my taxes, and then after that, I'm hitting the road. I have a couple of obligations that I have to be at whenever it comes to this trip, because as soon as I figured out which direction I was going in, I started making some plans. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be here in a week, realistically. Dr. McCoy in Star Trek said it also. See, that's probably where my uncle got that, because he likes Star Trek a lot. Night-night, Bunny and everyone. Night-night! Oh my goodness. Best of luck with your cat at the vet tomorrow. Thank you for coming to the chat. It's 22:50 p.m. Okay, so 22, that's military time, so that means that it would be 10:50? 10:50, is that correct? In the US, would that be the same? 10:50, I believe. You can always go back to the ultimate renewable travel. Horseback. Okay, so every time that I go to a historic museum and I see those buggies, I'm thinking, okay, that was the RV of the beginning times. And wow, it would take 7,000 years to get to the same places that I go. And then I think even further, because I deep dive into everything. Sorry, guys, it's just what I do. I think, oh my gosh, so can you picture stagecoach over the mountains before the roads? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I would never want to do that. Some of the places I've been, I was like, how on earth would they have even gotten here? Like, what? A man in Africa named Safe made a car go with radio waves. That would be interesting. So, okay, who else watched the Jetsons? Just curious, because I know I did. I found out a very curious fact. I found out that I think it was last year, if you were looking at the actual Jetsons timeline, because we've all been saying, oh, we thought we'd have cars that would fly by now. No, no, no. The reason why is because George Jetson, according to the timeline of the Jetsons, wasn't born until last year. So we still have a little bit of time before we need to get to flying cars. Now, the real question is if George Jetson was about 40 years old in the episodes that we would have been seeing of the cartoon, that means that it would have been 40 years from like last year. So by 2060, we should have flying cars. Now that might be doable, especially considering what they're doing right now with like all the things that Elon Musk is working on. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine? Like these are the things that keep me up at night, guys. The random weird stuff that means absolutely nothing. But at the same time, it's like, huh, okay. Yes, exactly. They get stuck in places because there was no way for them to get places. It was bad. Like, I went to one place and they were like, this is where the wagon train went over the mountain. And I'm just like, how? How do I find the energy to do all the hiking that I do? Well, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I do. I haven't been hiking as much as I used to. In fact, I need to get back to it because pre-pandemic, I was hiking almost every single day and I loved it. Also, pre-pandemic, I weighed less as a result of hiking every single day. So I think that getting back to that is what I would like to do. But at the same time, like you said, it takes some energy, and I'm not quite there yet. Tell me what the main map or website I use to find BLM. I want to hit the road, but I'm worried I will get stuck not finding free spots. Okay, so I use several, but I love iOverlander. I am the weird person who likes to go into the BLM websites and pull down the map and then just start expanding out. Found some really great campsites that way. But that does take a little bit more like work and skill whenever you're trying to figure out what exactly you're looking at. So start out with iOverlander for sure, because it is very, very helpful. It'll show you the basic areas, and then you can kind of explore from there in that general area to see if there might be a spot that's not marked. Because what happens, unfortunately, with the apps is that you'll have, say, 10 people go to the same spot because they saw it on iOverlander at any given time. And because of that, the first person who gets there is going to get the spot. So what you have to do then is just kind of explore around to see if there's anything else that could be an actual spot that has a marked fire ring or something like that, and then find something. So that would be the easiest way to start off. The way people drive today, flying cars would be hazard. Yes, but I think, again, let's go back to Elon Musk. Tesla cars, they're working on self-driving technology. So I think what's really going to happen, and again, this is just me being weird and my own little thought process. I think what's going to happen is after they perfect self-driving cars, then whenever it gets time to flying cars, them at all, we will just put in the location and it will take us there. And that will be much safer. Again, I don't think it's super safe right now, but I think by the time that we get to that, it will be safer. Oh, I have so many of them. Um, my weird thoughts could fill up the whole room. I'm just saying, I'm just special. Let's see. A student of mine figured out that Donner Party had gone 10 minutes more a day, they would have made it. Probably. That's the thing. Like with the situations of what happened in the past, like with the Donner Party, yeah, little small decisions make a huge impact, especially whenever you have particular form of travel. And that's what I learned whenever I've gone to the Oregon Trail sites. A lot of them, they say very similar things, that it's just one tiny false decision is what impacted the entire rest of the trip, or the I have to sit here because I can't make it now. Pre-pandemic, I was walking 4 miles a day. See, I think we all were a bit more active, and being at home made us kind of stuck a little bit. We gained a bit. And then even the people, like, I continued traveling, but I traveled in a safer way. But at the same time, at one point in time, my lungs just aren't the same as they were, if that tells you anything. So I just have to get back to that. And it's hard. It's hard to get back to something that you were doing every single day when you had to take a time out. iOverlander is a very good app. It really is. I like the fact that there's so many different people on there who are doing reviews and who are creating, like, hey, I found this. There's more honesty on that than there are on some of the other apps that I found, because it's people who are really implementing these things. Now, one thing I have noticed is there recently in some areas have been a lot of parking lots who have been marked on iOverlander, and those are not necessarily the best parking lots to stay in. Sometimes there's either that or people have overstayed maybe, and now there are signs, if that tells you anything. So I don't know if they've marked things that shouldn't have been stayed at, or if they were staying there and then people didn't like it, so they put up signs. Does that make sense? We have a 24-hour clock in Europe. It's not a clock. Yes. Okay. So that we call military time. So that would be the same thing as our military time, which runs on the 24-hour. I don't know why here in the States we do things slightly different than a lot of things. For example, inches. I don't know. Fahrenheit. I don't know. I don't know what made the standard here different than other places. I know it is super confusing for people who, especially like because Canada uses Celsius and then here we use Fahrenheit. And then I will have people who are just like, okay, who don't make conversions. And I don't make conversions. And so it's hard to communicate certain aspects of that because we do have a different standard for measurement and things like that. Same thing with the time, I think. Let's see. Hello Bunny is the YouTube logo on Dimples. So I do have a magnetic sign I can take on and off. I did that because I like to have the ability to go park in places and people not know that it's just me in there by myself or that I'm a girl. It's not necessarily that I want to be like super stealthy. It's just that I don't want people to go online because they see that I have my YouTube logo on something and be like, oh, okay, I know all about this person and they're by themselves. I think that that's the reason that I did that mostly. A lot of places I'll leave my signs on, but if I'm ever stopping at like a truck stop, for example, I always take my signs off when I'm at a truck stop. I always take my signs off if I stay at a Walmart. Those are just pieces of information that the average person does not need to know if I am staying there. Yes, I think so too. I think that self-driving cars, if they can fix them where they're not crazy, will be great. I can just imagine, like, okay, from my perspective, as a person who is a content creator, if I had a self-driving car, I could work on my computer. I could be so much more productive with the 8 hours that I might be on the road on a long drive than I was if I was just like this. Not to mention, I think that that would fix a lot of the headaches that I have as I'm driving. Just saying. One of my bucket list books. So I do have those on Amazon. They're listed under Bunny Plays Here. I will go ahead and I'll post a link um, on my community tab after the chat, and then that way it's easier to find. I think that that would probably be better than having you just have to go on a wild goose chase through Amazon and all of the things that are there. Let's see. I love the Oregon Trail. I do too. So I used to play the game whenever I was younger, and it was so fun. And then I realized that this was like a real thing, and I went, "Oh wow, that was really terrible that such and such died of dysentery because now I know what dysentery is." And then I started going to the Oregon Trail sites as I was traveling, and I was like, "Oh my gosh." First and foremost, I just want to say this and kind of make a statement. I don't think that it's okay that we took over land from people who were already on the land. And we treated them very badly. But at the same time, can you imagine being one of the pioneers at the time, removing the bad aspect of taking over things that aren't yours? But just can you imagine the mindset of a person who has packed up their entire family into this like covered wagon, and you're going into and you have your whole life, and if you don't have your whole life, then you die. Like, what? Like, that is a crazy foreign thought, and that is a thought that we will never experience in modern day. So being able to research that and study that a bit more through those sites, wow. Let's see what else. Oh my goodness, it's just going whoop 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 whoop. Have you ever had any issue or concern with having your social media on your van? Yes and no. Again, I do have it where I can take it off. It is kind of nice to be able to do that, so I can just kind of blend a bit more. There are more NVs getting out there too and traveling, so it's less likely that if somebody saw my videos that they would immediately know it's me just based on my van, which is kind of cool. But at the same time, it's not so bad because it also is a marketing tool for me to be able to get out there so more people can see the content, more people can see the positive impact of vans in society. Because for the longest time, I think that people thought of vans as just the creepy person in the neighborhood who's doing bad things. And I think now we have the ability to teach people that that's not necessarily the case. You want to see Civil War battlefields? I have been to several, and they are interesting to go to because different ones do different things to tell the stories behind them and also the people. And then also, they preserve different aspects of how war happens and plays out. Shiloh, if you're ever interested in seeing how battalions move specifically, is a great one because they have over 1,000 signs that tell you literally each step that each group took within the confrontation. I think that one's very fascinating. It also tells you some more of the backstories behind the people who were there and what happened after the fact. And I think that that one's a very good one. So I think that those are very necessary. Again, I always say on my channel that we want to learn from the past so we can make a better tomorrow. And I think it's very important that we do so, especially with sites like that, because we see military engagement within our own country, which is something that you don't really see here, like you do in some of the other countries. And so seeing that aspect, very interesting. Let's see. Again, Jurassic Park, just saying. Have a good evening, Tim. Thank you so much for swinging by the chat. Let's see. See, this is on my bucket list. I want to go to Gettysburg eventually. I think that it's very important, again, to see those kinds of places, to learn from them. I think it's just super, super important. Just popping on YouTube and I'm live. It doesn't happen often. I decided I would be sporadic, and we're having a little chit chat. Just kind of talking about travel plans, kind of what's going on, just having a good little conversation with everybody. It's super fun. So many solo female truck drivers these days. Yes. So I think that it is amazing that people are starting to feel more comfortable doing things. It's very important to, that's part of the reason why I show what I do on YouTube. I want people to feel like they can do things. I think that a lot of women, especially, it was not something that you did on your own for the longest time. And now more and more women are out there traveling and having a good time and seeing that it's not the boogeyman around every single corner. And it's okay to get out there and do something independently sometimes. Let's see. I definitely need to do this because I think that this would be amazing. We were talking about this. Wonderful resource right there. True, we won't experience those moments in modern day until an apocalypse. Brain is not working again. We need more fluid. Yes, we will start to experience it more. Definitely. If you've never visited it, Pioneer Village in Nebraska, I have not. It is already on my list, though. Someone had suggested that to me recently. There are several places in Nebraska that I do have for the next time that I go through. The last time that I was there, I didn't know about a lot of places. I had a very specific beeline that I was making through the state. And now I know that there are so many things that I missed. Yes, I made it home safely. And I'm actually going to be in Funky Town tomorrow with my mom. So that's right up the road from you. Keeping you at home base for a while. I completely understand. I've been fortunate in that, again, my fuel efficient van has helped me out a lot, but at the same time, I get it. It's going to pinch for a bit, I feel. Still a stigma to live in a van here in Europe. I think here too, to some extent, not near as much as it was maybe, but it also depends on who you're talking to. I think that there are some people who, especially, I feel bad for my male friends who are van people. Um, Guys in a van just appear creepy, even if they're not. And I've had some very interesting conversations with men as a result of that. Very, very nice men. And they're just like, I live in a van and I get stared at like I am a bad person pretty much every time I go to Walmart. And I'm like, oh, that's so sad because they're amazing. And so it's like, I get it because there's a stigma, but at the same time, like you shouldn't automatically assume that just because somebody's in a van that they're a bad person. I mean, look at all the businesses who use vans. You can't tell me that every single business out there is employing some crazy person who's going to come abduct somebody. No, that's dumb. So I think people need to move forward past some of those thoughts because I think that this is just a shift now. Let's see. Oh my goodness, my nose. Oh, might sneeze at you guys in a minute. Sorry. Every time I come back to Texas, allergies. Just saying. I'm allergic to my base camp so badly. And ironically, I cannot take any kind of allergy medication because it makes me go to sleep. You can spend a whole year traveling in Nebraska and not see everything. I agree. There are so many things. Now, I will say this, though. Your major highway across the bottom part of Nebraska, oh my gosh. I felt like I was driving for days. Like, I felt like I was driving across West Texas because it's just so flat. But then when I got to the places that I was going, I was like, oh, this is awesome. Let's see. How does Dimples handle the mountain roads? Really well, actually. I was kind of surprised because I was thinking it was going to really be just like one of those, I'm going to have to putt up the mountain. No, does okay. I like to keep my van going at a pretty consistent speed that is slightly lower than the actual like speed limit when it comes to mountain traveling. The reason being that first of all, whenever you're going up, it's more taxing on your motor. So if you keep it at a consistent speed that is slightly below, it's less taxing, you notice less difference. And then also whenever you're going down, you notice less of that acceleration. And so it really does pretty well. And I found that I just find a good little rhythm. My fuel efficiency does go down a bit in the mountains. I think everyone's does, but all in all, does pretty well. I live in Austin and remember Cedar Fever. Is that where whenever they would show those videos and it would just be pollen? I think it is. It was bad. It was bad. Let's see. 101-year-old grandmother used to live in Edgar, Nebraska. Now, I haven't been to Edgar before. Women in vans are looked at as having a bunch of kids. They have not seen my van then because I would have very small children if that's the case, like tiny ones, because my van's so little. I-80's boring. Yes, that one. That's the one. Oh my gosh. I thought it was going to go on for days and days and days. And when I'd get off at a gas station, I was like, how far am I? And I'd look and I'd be like, oh, this is still so far. Oh, Nebraska has the Kool-Aid Museum. Yes, I need to go there. I've been really fascinated by finding different things. For example, did you know there is an RC and Moon Pie Festival that is held in Tennessee? I found that and I was like, I want to go there. So that's one of the things that's on my June list also as a possibility. Interstates put you to sleep. Yes and no. So I've been on some interstates that there's so many different things that I can get off and go and look at that I don't even realize that I'm really on an interstate. And then there's others that have bypassed everything of interest. So I think that it just really depends on where it is. Came in a little late to the stream. Where am I right now? I am at my base camp right now. Actually came back this way. I have some things that I'm taking care of. I'm going to get my taxes done, things like that. Things that I don't want to do while I'm on the road because it's just not as convenient to do. And then after that, I'm taking off directly and off to my next adventure. I also have to do a couple of things in the van, and it's just better to have a little bit more space to pull everything out. So I'm not having to do it in a random place that I'm not as familiar with. Plus, I have tools here, so that's kind of nice. Let's see. 8 times bigger than Sweden. I would not doubt it. I was speaking to someone from, where were they from? I can't remember. I think they were from Italy, maybe. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, I was speaking to somebody who was not from the United States, and they were talking about how the state of Texas is bigger than all of their country. And I was like, I wouldn't doubt it. Texas is huge. And they were like, no, but Texas isn't even the only one that's bigger than my country. And I was like, what? Like, Texas, I get. It's huge. Taxes. Yes. Depressing thought. Absolutely. Absolutely. Never love it. Um, Necessary evil, but never love it. It's not my cup of tea. And actually, I'm currently in the process of working on, because I do have so many different things that I do, I'm trying to make a little bit of a shift for next year so it makes it a little bit easier. But oh my gosh, there's so much to every element of just doing things in an efficient way to get started. After you start on it, it's super easy. Getting started, not so much. Ukraine is the size of Texas. Very interesting. See, I would love to have a comparison of different places versus different states. I think that if somebody could make a spreadsheet with that, that would be super cool. Every so often, I'll see an infographic or something pop up, and I'm like, oh, so I'm in Alaska. I'm not in Alaska, but I'm in Alaska, and I'm the same size as this, or I'm in Oklahoma, I'm the same size as this. I think that'd be super cool. Just a random piece of information. We don't need to do taxes here. Lucky. That's all I can say. Lucky. It is a lot. And I usually do my own taxes just because up until recently, it's just been more easy for me to do that. But now I'm getting into the point where it's just like, okay, I can't. I have too many extra things going on. Like when I started doing the books, that has to be accounted for in a way. And it's different than what I was doing last year because I wasn't doing books. Or because of some of the other things that I do within the businesses that I work for, they've started, because the rules have changed for them, distributing their information to the people who are working for them differently. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is a lot to handle. A lot of times they do that to keep the businesses honest, but at the same time, it makes it harder for the individuals. Let's see. CPA is a good way to go. Yes, absolutely. Oh, my dad found something that was mine. I've had this hat for a very long time. I don't know, where was this?
In the car. You said you
Oh,
there's still a bunch more stuff.
this was in my original adventure vehicle that I didn't know was in there. So if you've been with the channel for a long time, since the very beginning of the channel, you probably saw me adventuring in the silver car. Now the silver car's name was Scoot Scoot. It was a super cute car. I had it completely paid off. I would travel and I would tent camp everywhere. Just a small Chevy Sonic. That's all it was. And it was perfect because it was just a tiny car, super fuel efficient. And again, I would go all over the country and tent camp. But the problem was this car got hit by lightning. Like, who, where does that happen? So the car got hit by lightning. Actually, while I was at base camp, thank goodness, while I was at base camp, it happened, because otherwise that would have been very bad. And it fried the electrical system. And because it fried the electrical system, it made it where it wouldn't run anymore. I took it, and because I was like, this is my adventure vehicle. What? Oh no, I took it to the shop. They replaced the computer in it. But again, it was fried. So even with the new computer, it was not working correctly. And I went through a lot of different like ups and downs with this, really stressed out a lot because again, this is very early on into what I'm doing with my channel. And literally I had just paid off the car. So I was not willing to give up on it. And then all of a sudden I realized I was going to have to give up on it. And, you know, just kind of in this whole like thought process, I've always been a person who has believed in, you know, you get directed in a direction for a reason. And sometimes it's to test you, sometimes it's to teach you. And so I was wondering, what on earth is this supposed to mean? Is this meaning I'm not supposed to do this? Like, what is going on? And so tried and tried several different things and finally just came to the realization that I was not going to be able to drive this car anymore. It was just not safe. I would be going down the road and things would just start turning off and on. And then at one point in time, it wouldn't start and then it would start, or something would just like randomly, the radio would just like yell at you. It was just bad. And so I ended up with the black car, which is the Roadrunner, which most people more associate with the beginnings of my channel. And I ended up with that. It had no power locks, no power windows, nothing that could be fried. And so it was kind of like, worst case scenario happened, so let's go with bare minimum. And so I started out with that, and ultimately that ended up leading me to where I am now with the van. And I'm so thankful, even though the car got hit by lightning and it was like, what? And now I have this like random car that I probably honestly just need to sell. But it still sits, and we're getting ready to, I guess, clean it out. My dad found this. This hat, swag, is just kind of a fun hat that I had. It's just a fun camo hat. And we had, my friend Julie and I from way back in the day, we had a little kind of like a podcast at the time. And one of our things was swag. That was just part of it. It was just something silly. And so I had this hat that I found, and I wore it for like 3 times probably, and then it made it into the car. And I didn't even realize that it was still in there. So that's that. That's the story of Scoot Scoot the Sonic. Nomadic Nanny, my PayPal link is just BunnyPlaysHere at gmail.com. Let's see. Billboards for at least, oh wait, I'm trying to catch up. Oh no, The Thing. Okay, so The Thing is located on I-10. I just went there. It was so fun. They've changed it since I was there about 5 years ago, and now it is aliens versus dinosaurs. But that doesn't quite do it justice, just knowing the title. You have to go and check it out. I will be sharing a video of that possibly next week. We'll see when that video comes out. I need to edit it still, but it's well done. It's very well done. It's professional quality. Before, whenever you would go through, you would walk through and they'd show you a bunch of old farm equipment and a bunch of cool stuff that was just like stuff that they would have used in the area for mining. And then they had some antique cars and things like that. But the way they have redone it, they spent some money on this thing. Like attraction style stuff, like super cool. In fact, if you're on my Instagram, you can go check out a photo of the aliens. These things are like taller than me. They are well done. I would say that they're done by a theme park of some kind. Like they look that quality. They're very good. But the whole experience, very different and very, very neat. So yeah. Let's see. Today is just the Jurassic Park day for me. I can see this. So who else in the chat right now has a random theme song that pops up in your head? If you do, leave an emoji of some kind in the comments here. I have 3 basic theme songs that pop up in my head, and I'm not sure why. Of all things, I decided that these were the ones. Jurassic Park is the main one. Anytime I do a dinosaur attraction, of course, you guys get to hear me randomly humming that one, but in reality, it plays in my head a lot more often. Also, the Doug theme song, the Doug cartoon. Do 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 do. That's another one right there. And then the third one that gets stuck in my head pretty frequently. It actually has 2 parts to it. Mario music. It's either the regular level Mario music, or when something's really intense, it's level 2 Mario music. You know, the do-do-do-do-do-do, that one. I don't know why, but I think that that's one of those things. Like, I always try to illustrate to people, because I'm always constantly on the go with what I'm doing with the travel and then the editing and all the other things. If you could take my brain and expand upon what my brain looks like, it would be a combination of those 4 musics constantly. It's just one of those weirdnesses. The song that never ends. No, that would be like It's a Small World. I don't know how many people when I went to Disney were like, now you're going to be singing It's a Small World. And I was like, you know, if I hadn't done Roger Rabbit right after that, yes, absolutely. Because, oh my goodness, it just like, it eats your brain. Oh my goodness. So many awesome people in here today. This is amazing. Thank you guys so much for coming by to check out the like updates and stuff. Again, I'm going to do so many interesting, different things that are coming up within the next like month and a half. And then as soon as I figure out this June situation, I'll either be going to the Pacific Northwest or I'll be going east somewhere. I just don't know yet. Or I'll be going to the Moon Pie Festival because that just sounds tasty. And I really want to see if they have a moon pie mascot. Oh my goodness. Hang on for a second. We're going to do the wave for the 50 for the super sticker, but we're also going to do the spirit fingers and we're going to do the fireworks. And if I could, oh wait, and we'll do the pinky out. I'm so excited that the next time that I go on to a chat with the can't talk with the StreamYard, I'll be able to have those little graphics. Again, just have to figure out what exactly I want to do. If you are familiar with the different people who do chats, Van Life with Gina, she does some really cute ones where she has little emojis that talk to you, and I think those are so fun. I just have to figure out how to make them where they fit on the screen instead of just being like a random head, which looked kind of weird when I tried that. Baby shark. That is a wormhole I do not want to go down. Do, 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 do. No. In fact, every time I see a stuffed shark thing, that song pops into my head and I have to just like really be like, no. And then I'm also the random person who changes the words to fit my dog's name. And so I'm like, stanky shark, do, 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 do. And that's not good because then that gets stuck in my head and it's even worse because it annoys everyone. My family laughs at me because I'm always humming one of my go-to songs. Yes, exactly. And it pops up in like the worst times ever. So you're sitting there and you're just like doo 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 doo, and then all of a sudden it's like doo 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 doo. You're like, no. It's like the hiccups. It comes along when you least expect it, then it's annoying to not only you but everyone else. We were supposed to be flying in cars by now. Problem with that is you don't fly. Well, we talked about this a while ago. So if we go based on the Jetsons, we're technically not supposed to be flying yet. Almost, but not yet. So you have some time to get over your fear of flight. The Mario music is a thing for me too. See, I think that that's one of those things that they design songs because they know you're going to remember them and they're going to be there and they're going to be stuck. I promise I won't do it again. I promise. Oh my goodness. Sending love from Chicago. Whoop whoop. Do 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 do. Yeah. That almost went Mario again. We're gonna stop. We're gonna stop that. Yeah, I think though, seriously, like again, we're done. We're done with that one. Oh, now everybody's gonna be like, I will never go to her live if she is singing the Baby Shark ever again. I'm like, I'm sorry, guys. I just have a good time on here with you all. I mean, I love to sit here and chit chat. It is super, super fun because we get to chit chat about silly things that aren't necessarily just content related. A lot of times, whenever you guys watch the videos, you get to see a very one-sided conversation because you're just watching whatever location I'm at or whatever I'm doing in the van. And so getting to interact with you guys like this or over here on the chat is just great to me. I love this aspect because it's a personal connection for me as well as you. And so I get a lot out of this. I hope that you all do too. Not to mention it gives me some good laughs because like I was perfectly fine and dandy without the suggestion of this. And now it's in my head. It is there. It is eating a hole through like right here. Let's see. Gaming music gets stuck. Animal Crossing. See, oh, I've never played Animal Crossing. And I decided not to play Animal Crossing because everybody was talking about how addictive Animal Crossing is. So I was like, I just don't need to play it. I don't have that much time. So I've done really well. At first, like the last game that I was like obsessed with was Bejeweled and then also Candy Crush, which they're basically the same thing. Just one has candy and one has jewels. So I knew that that kind of game like eats a hole through my brain and is like, you must play me. So I've been doing pretty good. And then I was watching a content creator that I like, and he made a suggestion to play this game called Pocket Styler. And I was like, oh, that looks fun. I want to try that. I should have never done it, guys. Now I'm just like every day, Pocket Styler, every day, Pocket Styler. And basically, just kind of give you a synopsis as to what Pocket Styler is. It's a game where you go on there and you dress up your little character and you get points, and then people vote on it and you get more points, and then you get to dress up your character again. And it's just an ongoing cycle of you making these cute little fashion looks. And despite the fact that I wear t shirts and leggings and don't put makeup on all the time, before I started my channel, quite the fashionista I was. Every day was a makeup day, just saying. So this plays right into my soft spot for that and gives me that without me physically having to do that. And I'm just like, so I'm obsessed. And I've been playing it now for like 2 months. Why? Why? Oh, let's see. I'm enjoying the blossoming of my channel. I'm just glad that you guys are getting to see what all it is that I enjoy, what it is that I do, and things like that, because I think that that's the thing that unfortunately gets lost in translation sometimes within just having a YouTube channel is the personal side of it. And the personal side of it doesn't get to see all this craziness. And that's just me on a regular basis. This is kind of who I am. And that's my high energy self all the time. See you down the road. Oh my gosh, baked brie and steaks. Oh, jealous. I want to come over to your house right now. I need this in my life. I'm going to eat pizza in a little bit though, so it's not the same. It's not the same. It'll be good, but it's not the same. I still play Pokemon. Do you play Pokemon Go or just Pokemon, like the cards? Pokemon Go, when it first came out, I was actually traveling in California, and there was a guy that I was traveling with, and he's like, we all must download Pokemon Go. And I was like, okay. So I downloaded it, and we're staying in a hotel. It was the Airtel Hotel, which is in the valley, kind of. And we're right by this airport, and we're all just like walking around like this, trying to find Pokemon, which was so fun, but at the same time, really counterproductive to what we were doing. And at some point, I just had to have like this moment to myself where I'm just like, this is dumb. Like, I am literally walking around just. So I had to stop. Let's see. Thank you so much, Sheila. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see what this one is. Gotta go. See you later. Bye. I enjoyed you coming by. Thank you so much for sharing your presence with us today. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining the chat. Oh no, you're hooked already? No, don't do it. Walk away from the light of the app. Pokemon Go, my grandson. And now they don't, and I do. See, that is the problem with some of the games. Some of the games just, for some reason, they speak to you, and you're just like, I must do this now. And it's very hard to be like, no, I will not do this now. I'm really happy that at one point in time, whenever I was on Facebook a lot for my job, I found that I played the farm game, the Farmville or something like that, only because I had to be on my computer and I had to be on Facebook because of work. And so I was always like, are my crops ready? Are my crops ready? So after I stopped working on that, I was just like, okay, good. I no longer care if my crops are ready. And then I find myself being like, but what if? No, 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 no. Don't do it to yourself. You will lose 6 days of your life harvesting your corn. Like, don't do it. Just love your happy, funny self. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I just enjoy again, I wake up every day and I'm thankful that I have the opportunity to do exactly what it is that I'm doing, whatever that might be. Today it was filming a video, running errands, and trying to figure out my solution for my van of the thing that I need to fix because, and also I was looking at my rims because as many of you knew, I lost a rim. Whenever I went to Vanarchy, and that was last fall, I just pulled the rims off. And whenever I went to Quartzsite, I had no rims. Been running around with just my regular. Actually, I have rims. I don't have hubcaps. Sorry. Somebody's going to come after me and be like, no, if you didn't have rims, you wouldn't have tires. I know, it's hubcaps. Sorry. But the hubcaps, I took them off and I've just had the black. And the more that I looked at it, the more I was like, I kind of like the black. The black looks nice. But I needed something that was a bit better than what they look like right now. So I'm trying to replace them with some new black hubcaps just to make it look like it matches a little bit better because the rims are kind of ugly. Just saying. Let's see. Hey, I like solitaire too. I still play solitaire. I just play it from my phone. I also play mahjong or mahjong. It's the tile game that you play, the little Asian tile game where it's a matching game. I love that. It's so therapeutic to play that before bed. In fact, as I'm winding down in the evening, that's usually what I do a little bit before bed because it makes my brain kind of fully engage and then relax. And so I really love that one. Yes, that right there. See, this is the problem with that game. That game would be just like, my crops are ready. I must go. I must go check them. And then if you didn't, they would die. So you'd be like doing stupid stuff at like 2 a.m. like, oh my gosh, I have to get the sweet potatoes now. And it'd be like, oh my God. And then at some point you realize that it's absolutely ridiculous and you're obsessed. And then your friends start sending you invites and requests and you're just like, it's overwhelming. I can't. Let's see. Weakness, Hotel Story, Lily's Garden, Pet Rescue Saga. Oh my goodness, you have several of them that I have not heard of. I'm not listening. I can't start those too. I don't have enough hours in the day for those. Used to play the chef game on Facebook. Okay, so I have a friend who was super obsessed with the chef game. Like to the extent of if you would speak while they were trying to do what they were doing, they'd be like, and I was like, what are you playing? And then I realized what it was, and I was like, oh no, this is another one. Again, I can't do this. I can't do this right now. I have Gardenscape. Okay, I haven't heard of that one. I don't know what you're talking about. La 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 la. Oh, hey Hope Bus, what's going on? We are chatting about all things random right now, and it is not even the random recap. We're just having a little chit chat. I am at base camp, as you can see, sitting on a fluffy couch. Let's see. Sheila, how much is gas in Texas? Well, where I am, it's actually $3.95. I don't know that that's necessarily the norm. Now, I will say this. I did see something absolutely insane, and I didn't see it until I came to Texas. And I want to say it was just because it was the perfect storm and the news was scaring people a little bit. I went through Arizona and New Mexico, didn't see this once. I pulled into Texas, and the first gas stop that I stopped at, there were people who were literally just pumping gas into big, huge barrels, saying that they were afraid they weren't going to have gas and that they were going to get as much as they could because gas was about to be $12 a gallon. Now, this was last week. Gas has gone down in my area since that happened. So I don't know what inspired them to do that, but yeah, apparently fear is real right now. So if you do see that happening in your area, just get the gas that you need and just move on. It was very weird. Um, but again, I didn't see that anywhere else except for here in Texas, and I thought, wow, okay. Just say no to all those apps. Yes, absolutely. Willpower, and it's very hard because some of them like get you. Like, for example, this fashion game that got me, it preyed on my emotions of wanting to look fancy and have a reason to wear heels because I really do love that aspect of who I am also. You guys don't get to see that on the channel really because I don't go to a lot of places where that makes sense. But I'm quite the fashionista whenever I do go out and do things like in areas that I can. In fact, at one point in time, weird fact about me, I had a shoe room, not a shoe closet, but a shoe room. That's right. Very different than my van situation now. Let's see. Have I tried that green apple caramel and cream cheese dip yet? No, I haven't tried that one. I've done the regular caramel, but I haven't done the caramel and cream cheese. Huh. That could be something that would be delightful. I usually am like a huge I like the little fruit snacks and things like that as I go. I think that fresh fruit is delicious. Typically, I'm the person who's picking up like the grapes and being like, "Oh, I like these. These are delicious." So I always keep either apples or grapes or something in my van with me, just because it's a good little snack, and it satisfies my sweet and my savory sometimes, especially if there's like a pretzel in there too. Yum yum. But I haven't tried those. I'll have to check those out. Hello. Good evening. Oh no, we have a Roblox. I know that I would have this world built. It's kind of like I tried to, okay, so Minecraft, Roblox, and Fortnite. Those are three that are synonymously known to go together. Um, I tried Fortnite when it first came out. I played it for about 2 days and I was like, I am not doing this. I'm going to become frustrated by this. And I could tell. So I stopped. And then somebody was like, you should play Minecraft because you can build your own world. And I was like The Sims? And they were like, no. And I was like, no, I don't need it. I don't need my world to be all square. I'm fine with it not being that way. So I walked away from that one too. And I was very happy because apparently, if you get stuck into Minecraft land, you're there. Like that is your new life. And I was like, no, I can't. Gas is the new toilet paper scare. I agree. I think it will be somewhat like that. I think there will be some people who hoard and freak out, and then they're going to create hoarding and freaking out amongst other people when we don't need to do that. We just need to just like get what we need. And if you feel like you have to have like a little backup, get like a gas can, but don't do the most. Like there's no reason for that. Do 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 do. But yeah. Oh my goodness, so many people still in here. I'm just kind of scrolling through it. Oh my gosh, guys, you are awesome. Each and every one of you for taking the time out to come into the chat tonight. Have to get off, as Freckles says, it's supper time. Aw, thank you for coming by. I enjoyed chatting with you again. Of course, I did get to meet, wait, over here. I did get to meet her whenever I was at the WRTR. I had the greatest conversation ever. If you ever see her in real life land, say hello. She's awesome. Let's see. Niece has nightmares about Minecraft. Why? Why do they let her play it if she's having freak out? She's too young to have nightmares about a video game. Oh my gosh, that's so sad. And that's unfortunately, I think, the case with a lot of kiddos. A lot of kiddos play games and it's just like a lot for them. I remember when I was young, we would play like Mario and stuff like that. But at the same time, it was like you had to disconnect. You only got to play that at certain times. And I think now a lot of kids, like that's their all day thing when they're not in school. And so it's a lot for their poor little minds. Thank you, Terry. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much, Australia. Estella? I don't know. I'm the worst when it comes to names, guys. First and foremost, I think that everyone in life needs a name tag. I'm just saying. And they can have their nickname or their regular name. But if they have their regular name, I'm going to need a pronunciation. Because I usually am just like, unless I hear something, I'm just like, oh no, oh no. But yeah, I'm the worst with names like ever. And I think it's just because I'm constantly on the go and I meet so many people from like museums and hiking trails and in regular everyday life kind of situations. It's insane for me. I work at a fuel center on Saturdays and Sundays. It's a guy who brings 2 of the 6. What? How do you guys even have gas for the rest of the week with people doing that? That's the part that's confusing to me. Like when people come and they fill up those giant vats, they're taking gas away from other people physically, which then makes those other people feel like there's not gas because there isn't gas for them. And then they freak out and then they hoard gas at the next gas station. And it creates this really bad thing. That is insane. I just hope that we don't end up like Canada did for a while when they had the really bad flooding, where they were doing the rationing. Because if we get to that point, I think that's really going to be when everybody starts not being so pleasant. And I don't want that. I think everybody needs to just show some more kindness, especially to the employees who are having to deal with all this, because it is not their fault that things are either missing from the stores or very marked up or things like that. Bye-bye. Have a wonderful one. Thank you so much for stopping by, and thank you for the birthday wishes again. Thank you. Let's see. Bucket list to go to everyone's state fair. So, about state fairs. Yes, that sounds fabulous. In fact, Riley and her brother, Tony, we were discussing how the Texas State Fair has the food that we have to try. We want to go on a food crawl through the Texas State Fair. I think that would be so fun. At the same time, I think that's the only way that I could go back to the Texas State Fair is if I could do that, because I always get so overwhelmed by all of the options. I'm just like, I know that there's one of me, so I can't do everything. But if I have a group, we could do more. Let's see. Never live in fear. I agree with that. I think that you can't be fearful of everything that's going to happen in life because you can't control most of the outcome. You can only control what it is that you're personally doing. And if you're afraid of everyone else, then at the end of the day, it's going to end up harming you more than it's going to help you. I think there's a difference between realistic and unrealistic fears. For example, I have a realistic fear of snakes for a good reason. I've had horrible experiences, and I know that that doesn't affect other people really. It just doesn't. If it's going to be something that is going to keep me from living my life and experiencing it, then I would honestly get over some of it. For example, as fearful of snakes and how silly it sounds to some people, I have genuine terror. Like I can't avoid it. But I still rode the Indiana Jones ride, which has tons of fake snakes. Fake snakes still scare me. I don't know why. That's the unrealistic side of it. So the realistic side of it had to be they're not going to get me. I need to do this. So I think that that's kind of the difference, kind of assessing realistic versus unrealistic and being honest with yourself about it. Do I carry mace or anything with me when I hike alone? Yes, absolutely. And if I'm in certain areas, I also carry bear spray, although I need to order some more because I don't have any right now. I don't know what happened to mine. Did you see the news about the tornado last night? I did not. Oh my. I did not see that. I think that the weather is that crazy thing that like there's so many things again that you cannot control, and a lot of times you do not know it is about to be like that way until it gets crazy and gnarly. For example, the windstorm I was in, I pulled in, everything was fine. About 2 hours later, the van was rocking, the most I've ever seen it rock in life. I was actually quite afraid, but at the same time, it was too dangerous for me to drive too. Oh my goodness, everybody go check out my KC Life Adventures friends. This is Colleen Kyle right here. Hi guys, I miss you guys too. These are my people and they just started a YouTube channel. So you need to go and check them out. You have to go and check them out. I am so excited about all of their coming adventures. They've been just really kind of getting out there, doing their thing. And it's fun to watch. Plus, they're from a really fun place. They're from Kansas. And so they're showing me kind of the stuff that's in Kansas that I might not have known about. In fact, there's one place that they just went on their last video that I was like, I need to go there. You were born in Lubbock. Nice. I was just through Lubbock the other day. Grew up on the carnival. What? Best food is Wisconsin. Okay, so this is the thing. I will say you probably have a very good point with it being very good. However, after having been to the Texas State Fair, I will have to disagree. Of course, I can't fully disagree because I haven't tried the Wisconsin one yet, but I know that the last time that I was at the Texas State Fair, I ate the craziest thing I ever thought that I would eat. I ate a fried margarita, and the fact of the matter that they can do a fried margarita and it have the consistency of a margarita, I was blown away. Just the creativity that they have each year by introducing the new food items and just who comes out. It's wild. It is so wild. So the quality overall, I don't know. I'll have to go check out Wisconsin, but just saying. Fear is a good motivator. Sometimes, yes, absolutely. Fear can make you run the fastest you've ever run in life. I am Usain Bolt if I ever do see a snake. I'm just saying. Hello, Bunny. How am I this evening? I am great. I am having a wonderful time. I am at BASECAMP right now, just kind of doing a few things, getting some of the nitty-gritty stuff done before I take off again. Son was born in Houston. Nice. Houston has some really cool stuff down there. Absolutely terrified of all snakes. Yes. Yes. See, something about snakes. They're just creepy. And I tried to make fun of it. Like there's a video that went viral a while back of this guy who's like in this little funny snake hat. And he's like, I'm a snake. Like I try to, whenever I address it, be like funny. It still does not make it any better because I'm still on the inside going, oh no, like freaking out, having a full-on heart attack. Let's see. you're officially going to go to this Texas State Fair and have a fried margarita. There are so many things, and every year, again, they introduce different things. They kind of rotate things. I had fried bacon one year. I had a fried Snickers. They have fried butter, which I don't personally recommend eating that unless you're in extremely good health and don't mind having a heart attack just the same. But at the same time, the fact that they have all those options, super, super cool. Let's see. Question: what are your tips for those who are starting out in van life with just basics? Just get out there. I know that sounds really generic, but at the same time, just get out there. The best way to experience something is to work with what you already have. Don't go out and spend all the money in the world until you have physically stayed overnight in a vehicle for the first time. Make sure it's for you. Pick a place that makes you feel more comfortable to start with, like a state park or a national park. That way, you're not fully away from everyone and you can have some of those comforts still. And then get out there and just try it. After you try it, if it is something that you enjoyed, then you can start making investments into the different things like your solar or a more comfortable bed or a refrigerator or things like that. But you don't want to have to just go out there and be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to spend $7 million just so I can try this. Instead, just pick something that is a doable goal for something in a shorter term and then try it. And if you enjoy it, then go from there. I always tell people the first trip that I went on a 2-week road trip where I was tent camping with my friend, and we went all through the Southwest. And neither one of us had really done that before, but because I had a friend with me, it made it very comfortable and fun and adventuresome and exciting. But at the same time, it was quite the adjustment. And after that, I continued that because I did have such a good experience. But if I would have had a bad experience, that probably would have been the last time I did that, honestly. So giving yourself the best option for success by finding places that you feel comfortable or going with someone or finding things that are exciting to you really does set you up for the next step. I hope that helps. Let's see. You want to try nomading? It's fun. I have a blast doing it. I really do. I have learned all of the hiccups along the way are things that you can't really control. So you just kind of go into it with an open mind. It does require a lot more flexibility than a typical 9 to 5 or a sticks and bricks home. You have to be able to kind of be okay with being okay with with discomfort, if that makes sense. There are certain things that no matter what you do, you will not be prepared for. For example, I have all these different things to keep me warm in my van, but I slept in 9 degrees on one of my days of my trip, not expecting it to be 9 degrees. I stayed warm because I was prepared, but at the same time, the temperature itself snuck up on me. Does that make sense? Things like that. You're going to encounter days where you planned on going 50 miles and then suddenly there's a wreck and you only get to go 10 miles. And so you have to kind of adapt. Being adaptable, malleable, things like that, super, super important. Terrified of elephants and lakes. That is an interesting combination, but I'm sure you have stories for this. How do you fry a margarita? I have no idea. It was amazing, though. I'm just saying. Another year I went, they had a bake so fascinating, but not near as fascinating as a fried margarita. Like, where do they do that at? Only the Texas State Fair. We're jumping all in to live on the road with 45-foot MCI. Hope you like it. I'm sure you will. You'll love it. You have space to adapt, to adjust. In smaller vehicles, it's a little bit harder because it is a definite contrast between being in a home and then being in a tiny little space. Oh my goodness, second largest canyon, Paladuro. Yes, so eventually I will go to Paladuro Canyon. Again, that is a weather thing. Every time I have gone through recently in that area, the weather has not been ideal for going there. I understand. There's beauty to be had in all different kinds of things, and I think that you have to find the beauty sometimes outside of the norm. Whenever I went to Arizona, for example, there was a ton of desert out there. It is very dry, but at the same time, there are some gorgeous spaces, but you have to get to them. And that's the thing. Just getting there is half of the journey sometimes. And again, sometimes discomfort. You're caught in a that is something that would be definitely scary. D, Lady Bug Out, she encountered a tornado while she was in her van. She has a video of her experience doing that. I've had several people ask me what I would do. I will say that after watching a video of how she reacted, some great insight on there as to what people suggest and also what people have done. Now, living in Tornado Alley myself, at the very bottom of it, I have put some thought into that, but at the same time, there were some great suggestions in there. That's one of those other unpredictable things, though. Food talk making you hungry. Me too. Me too. The pizza's coming soon. That's all I can say. Hi, buddy. My mom had a fear of snakes. Dad would paperclip picture of snakes. Oh, that's not okay. That is not okay. Funny story about me. Again, I'll get into more of my snake stories on a future podcast episode, but I'll share this one with you guys. So, I was once at a zoo, and they have like the reptile area, and normally I'm fine with going to the reptile area. I just avoid the parts that have snakes, and typically they kind of segregate them into their own little section, so it's okay. Not the case in this situation. Just giving you a heads up. I was going through, there were a whole bunch of people there, including children, children who were shorter than me, so children. All of a sudden, they had like this big, huge python thing that the zookeeper actually had out for this educational thing. When I tell you I trampled children and felt no guilt. That was me. That was me. I was like, no, get out of my way. Bye. Looking back, not my finest hour, but at the same time, completely justified in my mind. Let's see. Great to be at base camp. Yes, absolutely. I love coming back to base camp. I get to spend time with my family and things like that. We celebrated my birthday over the weekend to some place that I'll actually show you on a future video. And then tomorrow, because my mom is currently on spring break, we're actually going to a couple different places, which I'm really excited about, in Fort Worth. So that'll be super, super fun also. So anytime I come back home, not only do I get work done and things done to the van, but I get to see my family. And that is the most important part of keeping a base camp. What's the longest I've been in one spot for? Realistically, 2 weeks. That's it. I do not sit for very long. Except for base camp. Base camp, I've been home longer than that. I come home for the winter a lot of times to do Christmas and things like that, but I don't really consider that to be the same. It's kind of a little bit of a different scenario. But as for in a physical place while traveling, 2 weeks. And I technically wasn't staying still the whole time that I was actually in the area. I was camping in the same spot, but I was moving about. Good evening. Hello. Worst place I've ever tried to boondock. Ooh, I don't know. I haven't had a lot of bad boondocking experiences, honestly. I've had a couple of kind of like bad weather situations, but they were great spots otherwise. And I haven't really had any bad neighbors, except for at one place I had bad neighbors, but otherwise the stay was amazing. I would say that that probably would be the worst case scenario of a situation, though. I stayed at I stayed outside of Leadville, and I had a wonderful stay the entire time. And then the last night, people started to like try to throw a party, and they were shooting off guns and doing stupid stuff, and that ruined the spot for me. I will still be mindful that that does unfortunately happen in that particular area, and I'll probably either go deeper back into the property or I'll find a different campsite because I love that area. Other than that, um, looks like I finally made it home. Yes, I made it home for the time being. I will be heading out again probably next week. That's kind of what I'm thinking is going to be like. It's a quick turnaround on this one. Working on a simple sink setup. Nice. I thought about putting in a tiny sink in my van at one point in time. I actually have a sink. I just haven't put it in. And there's a couple reasons why I haven't, but at the same time, I may in the future. I just don't know if it's worth it for me to invest in that kind of spacing for that particular thing. Does that make sense? I don't use it often enough where it's something that has as much value to me, but I love the fact that I could have it. So maybe in the future, we'll see. Let's see. Thank you for spreading good energy. No problem. I think that we're all advocates for what it is that we do. We all need to be positive examples. We all need to share the amazing van life. And so I am happy to be on the internet doing that in a large people see the videos and then they see me in person. It is a legitimate thing, and also that it's not all boogeyman and dance. Thank you so much. They're really sporadic, but I'm happy when I get to do them. Would I consider heading to the East Coast? Absolutely. If I could figure out the camping situation a bit better, because the East Coast is a bit harder, I would definitely go. I have a lot of places that I would like to go on the East Coast, and my list is long. Install a backup camera. Okay, so just gonna say, backup camera is the best thing I have in my van. Realistically, I drove my car today, the Roadrunner, that, and it's just a regular car, and I had no battery. I was just like, I had to reteach my brain. Oh, we have to do this so much easier now. My visibility is so camera. I know, and that's a setting. Sir says I'm the first person to say that about Leadville. Leadville is amazing. It is gorgeous. The Turquoise Lake area is amazing. However, I knew that there was a who lived in the area, and he realized that I was from Texas, and he immediately like judged me based on that for just a split second, and then realized that I wasn't a part of the problem. And that's how I also realized that a lot of people who say that, and I'm going to say this speaking as a whole, there's a lot of people who have said from Colorado come to Colorado. And I've seen that a lot on the road. And I'm not meaning to be like controversial or anything. It's just literally something I've heard. But I realized coming up and doing those kind of things, having a beer bust, shooting off their guns, running around on their OHVs with no regard for others, they are coming from Texas. And so you do somewhat get judged based on those. And in the Leadville area, unfortunately, there's a lot of people who go there and do that. And that is so sad because it's a gorgeous area. And again, it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. You have to respect the land. You have to respect the people that you're around. And also you have to follow the rules. And none of those things are on the rules. So we just need to do our part. Let's see. What kind of mattress do I have? I have an Ole mattress, Olee. I purchased it on Amazon. It is amazing. I sleep so comfortably. In fact, I have looked into possibly upgrading my BASECAMP bed to the same mattress because, oh no, oh, don't do it. Don't do it, Peggy. Don't do it. You're going to get sucked in. And the worst part about it is, so Pocket Styler, anybody who's new to the room who did not see this is the game I'm currently obsessed with. It is not something that I recommend because you're going to get obsessed. But it gives you different challenges. And as you go, you get more challenges because it wants you to continue playing. And the more it gets you to play, the more you're just like, it is sucking away my soul slowly, but I am obsessed. Nice hearing from you too, Darcy. It was great that you came by. Thank you so much. Let's see. Any projects with me and my dad? The bed build was a great video. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Currently, Dad and I are kind of talking about what the options could be for my back storage unit. I don't know if that's going to mean something building or if I'm going to purchase something and just put it in. I have no idea. He is helping me make a decision on that, though, based on some suggestions, just because he gives good advice. Now, something that will be kind of fun that I'm just kind of going to allude to a little bit, but not fully jump into because it's not that time yet. But Dad is possibly going to be building his own adventure vehicle. And if he does, I'm hoping that he will share some of that journey so that other people can kind of see what he's working on. And maybe I'll get to feature some of that. I don't know. But if he does, I know that it'll be fascinating to see kind of what he does. Let's see. Sorry, but I hope that's coming from your end. It's a bit staticky. It probably is. My internet here is kind of hit or miss. It kind of comes in waves because we are in a remote area. New subscriber, enjoying the content. Yay! Okay, so the Lunatech bottle that you're talking about, oh my gosh, I love it. So originally I found that particular bottle from Billy, who I met at Gutted. She had a version of that, and she uses it because she also is a nomad. She likes to be able to wash her hair and then also keep up her basic hygiene things whenever she is in the city dwelling. And so it's super easy to just hop out of your van, wash your hair with that, and then hop back in without having to pull out a full shower setup. So when she suggested that, I was like, I must have this. And then whenever I decided I was going to share my personal shower video, I definitely wanted to share it because it's so awesome. I mean, especially with my hair being so short, I can wash my hair a couple of times without having to fill up the water. And it really saves the water because it doesn't have that super massive spray on it. So I'm so glad that you liked it. What editing app do I use? I actually use Final Cut Pro 10, and I use it on a Mac computer. Just got Amazon here? Cool. Now you're going to be like, I need this. And then you're going to be like, okay, now that I have this, now I need this. You're going to be like I am. And it's a blessing and a curse. I'm just saying. Hello, Terrapin Travels. How are you? Okay, guys, I think because we've been on here for about 2 hours, I am going to kind of wrap it up. I have really enjoyed chatting with everybody tonight. It has been so fun catching up and kind of just getting to talk about all the fun stuff that's going on. Again, I'm going to be heading out pretty soon again to do more adventures. I am going to be doing the other kind of like adventures locally starting tomorrow. And then everything, of course, will be wrapping up from my last trip. And then you'll see some van videos, and then you'll see some of the Texas stuff, and then you'll see those other things. So I'm super, super happy. I am going to drop a couple of links on my community tab for the bucket list book. And then also you can find the other coloring book on there if you're interested. And all in all, I have had so much fun. The next time that I do have a reliable internet connection, I will be definitely another one of these. I really enjoy being able to highlight everybody's chat on here. It's been super fun using StreamYard. And again, I really prefer this method because we do get to have better interactions. So I love it, love it, love it. So thank you guys for coming out, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.